We've seen that across the board. I mean, investigation. We know who they were involved with the FAA for quite some time. Things weren't going their way. A lot of wonky stuff, but then you got the increase in production there and be able to deliver some more airplanes. As for Boeing, I think this name should be performing substantially better than what it is, but another investigation, not too good of a look. All right, guys, it's now 2 o'clock there, Sharif. We're going to go over a quick trade review. There's Nvidia. We'll go over the TQs and then SLV. That was it for the day. Those 3 trades. SLV as well, too. That wasn't too bad as it continuing to climb a little bit higher. And watch out for NVDA closing above that 190 mark. We talked about that throughout the session there, guys.
No, it's rare that I celebrate being up 7 pennies on the day, but hey, I was decidedly red, and now we're flat, and more happy I could not be.
There you go.
Hopefully we'll do a little bit better next time, guys. For Joseph and I.
Hey, man, would you rather be up 7 cents or down almost a shutdown?
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Of course, so, that kind of goes without saying.
Right? So it's just a scratch day, really.
Yeah, there you go, exactly. For Joseph and I, guys, I hope everybody has a fantastic weekend. And market's going to be all over the place. Make sure you're listening to President Trump and what he has to say, and think about, of course, the next steps for your investment journey, the big boys, through that way.
Welcome back, everybody. The president now talking about Iran. So still ongoing, and obviously, if you had that we get a rate decision on your bingo card, boom. If you had that cloud would come after the cybersecurity names today on your bingo card, yuck is all I gotta say. Yeah, so among the things
I saw Pan W getting
the crazy thing, I had just moved my stink bid on CrowdStrike, and I only found out because I got the notification that I got filled. I'm like, what do you mean I got filled? I was at $400. The stock was at $430 this morning. So there's no chance. I was stink bid. I thought there's 0 chance I was going to get filled. And all of a sudden, I'm like, oh, crap. And CrowdStrike and Pan W both got smoked on that. So while the market's been booming, the only thing in tech that's been bad has been the cybersecurity names. Again, the president, of course, still talking. C is all over it. Let's go and see what she has to say at the desk.
Yeah, some more lines here. Some trade deals negotiated under the IEEPA do not stand. However, Trump has said nothing changes on the India trade deal. He also has said that Iran better negotiate a fair deal. And to end it all, Trump says all trade deals will remain in place, but they are being handled differently.
Yes. Okay, well, I mean, that was the whole thing. He's trying to find some different ways of, creating a tariff-like system. Yes. There he's applying that 10% and then adding a few other things on top to get it kind of to an agreed upon level there. But no, I don't really know. Like, I just kind of went back to the well and just started trading the normal stuff. Like, I mean, I was long. Google's up huge. So we're doing really well on Google. I've only traded 2 names today, Google and the futures. And the futures worked out fine on the back end, but we talked about getting blown out right there when the first announcement happened. Then we traded it again back there to the upside. Dropped it when it broke VWAP, but wow, we should have held on to that one as it's all the way back up. So good moves there on the futures. But yeah, very, very interesting, man. Anyway, we sort of did a little bit of a look. We'll wait for Sharif to come back and we'll start talking about some new things. But Trump's saying right now the tariffs could possibly be higher than where they were in the previous, based on what he's been saying right now. So I guess there's some more things to go. Walmart down 2%, so that's not a great one there, as we thought that might get a rally. Home Depot, Amazon, like some of the retail names. But look, at all these major tech names, this is where the benefit is, right? Because all of a sudden now, Apple, Nvidia, Google, like Nvidia's worry about getting these. I mean, Nvidia's a little different worry because this is not about the chips, right? This is just about slapping a tariff on it. So whether or not Nvidia's chips are being allowed to be shipped in the United States or not, that's kind of a different story. But for right now, man, it's a little bit of a relief rally for some of the chips, and the banks are starting to go to the upside. The only real bad sector today, and it's not bad, it's just like you got XOM down 2.5, CVX down 1, Conoco, EOG, so they're all down about 1% there for Iran and gas price or oil prices getting hit to the downside. So that's a little bit of that reason, but everything else seems to be pretty good today, man. Healthcare technology, Eli Lilly, little bit of a drop down there. J&J, that's interesting. There was a story about J&J, I can't remember what it was. Thermo Fisher. So there's a few names that are going to the downside, but pretty healthy overall, man. I mean, who would have thought that if this was a tariff decision by the Supreme Court that would rally the markets a little bit? Well, that is what's been happening right there. We did have a negative print this morning when we thought that GDP was going to be an issue. That's why we went short right into there, and then it blew upside. So who thought the market would be at the highs on a day when that kind of an announcement is made? But there it is, Nasdaq cooking high side for now, and we're just long Google, a buck 20 in the money right now. So Friday, man, it's Friday.
It is Friday. The VIX is right back down into those lows with a chance of still further breaking down. We'll see. It hasn't really happened just yet, and of course, we'll keep the president up. I thought he's wrapping up.
He's done.
Yeah, I heard it in my ear, and I was like, oh, he's wrapping up there. So it looks like that is over. He's left the podium. This is not like the Fed where I think all of a sudden, no, whatever you're doing before is going to be done. But I was just looking, again, there's the VIX, but I was just looking at Bitcoin, which, I mean, there was a moment when it looked strong. Here, we'll go to the 3. There was a moment where it looked strong, and I was like, Bitcoin can be a long. And then I just was like, no. And short under VWAP, haven't been doing anything with it until we got to these highs. But the market basically got to the prior highs, and Bitcoin hasn't still broken out either. So I'm still looking for an opportunity to get into this one to the south side on Bitcoin, and it's trying to break this uptrend that we've been on since about noon, let's just say. So Bitcoin's got what I have my eyes on. I do have my eyes on that RXT. That small capper, which is going, I know Sharif was trading that one, and it's looking like it's going to be a big one. But yeah, Bitcoin from this morning, I'm still looking at, is it's trying to break trend, actually right here.
All right, I can't believe it. You guys can't believe it. But the launch day is next Tuesday. We are officially 4 days away. And you're right, look at that logo, that's really nice. The Trader TV Live Academy is more than just a project. It's a platform built on the very foundation of our careers. We've modernized every module to give you a clear, actionable edge that helps you navigate in the fast-paced markets of today. We took the time to get this right. So on February the 24th, you have everything you need to learn the way we did. The wait, everybody, is almost over. And yes, you can get involved if you are located in the United States. You can get involved if you are located in the fine country of Canada. You can get involved if you are located in any country, I believe, in the world. So there you go. So it is now available. No matter where you are trading, you are going to be able to download videos, participate in, the quizzes and knowledge, and understand how we've learned the software, learned our methodologies, learned discipline, learned everything that's required to become a successful trader. I've already talked about this earlier. You've seen the advancement of Joe and everything like that using our platform. The two of us, Sharif, everybody here, Sia's currently training on it as we speak. So is Adara. So there's lots of stuff happening around here. We've opened it up. You guys are going to get an opportunity to see on February the 4th. We'll give you the website. We'll give you all the details, and you can go check it out. The first thing that we've launched in that form.
Actually, that is true, and it's going to be constantly updating. That's the thing. It's always going to be moving and growing, just like the markets. There's even a community aspect. We won't get into too much because there's a lot of details, and it'd be a lot of fun to go over all of that with you. And again, just Miss Lucia, to answer, you said February with a question mark. That is February the 24th. So 1 day before.
4 days from now.
Oh, 4 days from now. One day before Nvidia earnings. So next week, of course, going to be a big week for now multiple reasons, I do think. And Spencer, competition coming too. What do you mean by that? Sure. No, it is. Yeah, it's the 24th, not the 4th. And Luis asking where Adara is. Adara just has the day off today. She's back next week, and Sia doing a fantastic job as well. We're going to have the rundown like usual. Sharif will be all over that. I think we have an idea what the symbols are going to be, because
you're looking at them.
Well, no, but all morning long, no, and to be honest, the top 3 have not changed at any point. So usually I won't know if there's like some kind of an ebb and flow on our visualizer at any point throughout the day. But the stock that's number 1 was number 1 like 5 minutes into the show, and is continuing, like it's not even close. It's like doubling, literally, almost doubling number 2. So it's been pretty obvious all day long what was going to be number 1. Although I would have thought that some new names might have matriculated in after what we saw with the, it was a Supreme Court decision, but it hasn't changed much. So let's go to the desk. I know what it is. You guys are going to find out. Let's do the rundown.
Welcome, everyone, to the Afternoon Rundown, the show where you decide what we talk about every afternoon, even on a Friday. The big boys, they are locked and they are loaded and they're ready to look at the tickers as decided by you. But the only way to get your tickers on the Afternoon Rundown, you got to join us. C and I are always in the chat. And get into the chat and vote for your favorite tickers every day. But you got to throw in that $ before you vote. Otherwise, it will not register with YouTube. Let's look at all 4 major averages here before we start getting going. All 4 major averages in positive territory, okay? Ever since the tariff decision at 10 a.m. with the Qs leading the way by far up 0.87. The SPY faring second best up 2/3%. The Dow up 1/3%. And the IWM Russell 2000 ETF barely green, but up 0.13 nonetheless. The first ticker, though, as decided by you guys, Opendoor. And what an earnings report they had yesterday. See it? Yep. They easily beat on revenue, destroyed profitability on EPS. What more can you tell us?
$736 million, Sharif. It's amazing. And it is down from 1.04 billion last year, but still a good number, not a bad number at all. And it's under its Opendoor 2.0 plan as we know it.
As Neil always says, there's never good or bad, there's better or worse, depending on what the street is looking for.
Absolutely.
Guys, and the other thing too is they're really investing heavily into homes, as that's their focus right now, looking to flip homes. But the problem was the homes were staying on the market too long. That has since changed. Inventory staying on the market more than 120 days dropped from 51% to 33%. Opendoor, guys, up 5.59.
Yeah, but is it up though? I mean, technically, I guess if you magically bought it at the close yesterday going into earnings, it's going to be up. But I think you could say decisively, you know what, I said the only things that were down were, whatever. There was some other things that were downside, but were those cybersecurity names on news. But there was also when Opendoor lost the trend this morning. And it was going absolutely perfect to plan. Like it bounced 520, which was on the note, gave you the VWAP hold, it ran into the high of the day. I got asked, somebody asked me, why would you cover as it's bouncing off of VWAP? And my only response was, if I'm following a trend up, then when the trend breaks, you get out of the trade. And so if the reason I'm taking it at VWAP was because it's holding the trend line, then when it breaks the trend line, you get out. And obviously, hindsight being 2020, that was also a reversal short in Opendoor. But I think the more pressing thing would be, it's got some support down here, but I'm not really respecting the 200 period moving average because it wasn't respecting the 200 period moving average. I think the more important thing is $5 was big resistance before, and we're supposed to be breaking out. If you close under 5, then maybe you retrace and find some support at these lows. So Eric, not sure how he feels about things. I know he was confident this morning. There was that video with popping bottles and Drake, and I don't know, it looked like it was in some sort of a club that I'm unaware of, and there was even a song that he had going for it. But yeah, not working out too well. It kind of slipped and fell. $5, if it can get back above that price, I think it would get at least a little bit interesting for a dead cat bounce. But this is one of those, if you have a rule and you have a reason to get out, don't question it, just get out. And yeah, I wish I had reversed into the short the trade, but at that time, really wasn't looking for it at the end of the day. So open, I give it a couple of days, but if it can't get back above $5, I would say this is destined for, and I said 4, but it's actually 4.25 would be the next support level.
Look, once again, I flushed it down the toilet because if you guys were here at 8 o'clock, 8:30, I said the short is right here at 560. It happened twice, and we didn't take it at all. So I think it was a pretty easy short, man. Most earnings calls have gone this way. And for me on Opendoor, if it wasn't running in the morning, it wasn't going to run anyways. So that stopped. It's just a fail. Like, it was an easy short. Should have been the trade of the day. Congratulations to anybody that made it. You're not going to find one easier than this. So there's Opendoor, man. I mean, it was the top there. It was the top there. It was the top there. Very, very simple trade, and disappointed not to have it. So, but yeah, anyways, Opendoor downside. Like I said, I think the resting spot for this is 250. So, you know, if it can't get going on earnings, we've seen this happen already. Like Rivian, you know, got going and then got hit that day and then hasn't ever made it back to those levels. I just think that's a story for a lot of these names, and no surprise here that Opendoor is exactly the same thing. So again, you're not going to get an easier trade, I don't think, than that Opendoor short up there at 560. So yeah, failed opportunity for sure. And was very, very, you know, pretty clear as day there. We even talked about it at 8 o'clock, so, or 8:30, whenever we talked about Opendoor. But Anyway, disappointed not to have that one. Let's go back over to the desk and see another trade. I only have Google in the futures today, so I'm not gonna have many of those. It's just that one sucks because it was easy, it was clear, and I talked about it. So fail by me on Open Door.
All right, guys, let's talk about Rackspace. Great day for Rackspace today. You'll recall back on the 18th, we got this headline that they were teaming up with Palantir, strategic partnerships here to help enterprise deploy and operate Palantir's Foundry and AIP platform. Not a bad look for them. Another big move up today, 55%.
Yeah, that's all I had to say, Sharif. They are teaming up with Palantir to help companies move artificial intelligence projects out of the testing mode into the real world production. And I just measured how much the shares have been the shares have been moving for the past day since the announcement was done. And shares have been up almost 12% since the day of the announcement.
Fantastic. Good look today, guys. $2 seems to be, though, Neil, a bit of a resistance level. What's your look?
Resisted it a couple of times, but I don't know, when you go up to the daily chart, like it looks like it's broken out over like a 190 level. Like it's okay, so it is wicking that too and failing to break it, but on the daily, like you would think here, if it's gonna hold on like a 15-minute over this 190, which it seems to be doing, it's literally at 190 right now, so it could easily break. Like that was a pretty significant level. It means one more time out and you'll look a little bit better. There you go. So support to resistance, and I can zoom back in for you. And closing above 190 looks like it would be a good spot. And when I was looking at the daily chart, that actually took one shot breaking down back under said 190 level. It was kind of quick in and out, and it's a bit of a choppy mess at that price, but that's the big level on the daily chart. It's not really the 2. It is around in and around that 190. So it has a chance to close above. The other thing which I can kind of note happening here, I mean, I'm going to go back to it looks a little bit cleaner on the 15, is you have this little descending wedge going on the 15-minute. And if it can break out of that, close any candle over $2, I think a breakaway and then give it to 190 would be an afternoon play. The thing that kind of stinks, though, is the volume has been tapering off and hasn't shown too many signs of picking back up. I think if you start to see an increase in volume, like we get some volume candles up here and we're above 190 and we're getting back to increasing volume, then the long's gonna look a heck of a lot better. Throw in the fact that it's a Friday, right? If you have declining volumes and it's Friday, yeah, it's over VWAP and it's trending higher, but you're gonna wanna see that start to pick up before we get into power hour on RXT. But the other thing that is worth it is, like yesterday, I think this got mentioned. I was like, I can't believe this happened. And if you're not looking at it at the open, it doesn't really make a difference. This bounced off exactly $1 yesterday. Not kind of, like it was a day 2 play that pulled back and literally bounced off 100. Now I wasn't looking at the level 2. Usually there's probably like someone stacks some shares on the bid at 1. And if you're lucky enough to be on a stock when it does that, you just kind of go long 101. But that would have, like, to me, that's a way bigger missed opportunity because someone asked if I traded Rhyme. I'm like, no, I didn't get that Rhyme 250 break because I was looking at other things at the open. But like that's one of those you get like 3 days and it breaks down. That dollar hold is also pretty cool. So it looks pretty good, but if 190 can't be held today, I'd be a little bit cautious with that RTX.
Just seeing what's going on with the dollar. We do have a new position right here, silver. So I'm going to go short against the high just to see, man. If this breaks, then we're gone. This is just a small little tester here to see what's going on with SLV. That's why I was just looking at that dollar. Well, I was just thinking, like, we've been up here a couple times. Maybe we retest. And like this would be a great out. If we can get them all out, like 74.70, that would be incredible. So just kind of waiting to see what silver is going to do here as we approach the high of the day. This is the kind of trade I'm looking for. With the market trying to pull back a little bit here, let's just see what winds up happening with silver. We're short at 04. The out is 20s, so this is 15 cents worth of a hit. It looks like we'll probably get stopped out, but I just wanted to say I'm trying it against the high of the day. There's so much uncertainty out there right now that I was just, thinking that silver, although it's going higher. I mean, I'm fighting the trend, so we'll try it and we'll see if we can get something out near the lows. But again, for 20 cents, I think it's worth the risk. Looks like we're about to get stopped out pretty soon on silver, and then we have to think about taking the high the high break and then maybe going long. So I just wanted to sit here and try something, but there goes silver. All right, let's go back over to Sharif and figure out what's next on the board.
Tesla is the next one, Sean, and it's having a flat day, up 0.11, couple headlines on this one. The market really wasn't impressed by the price cuts on the Cybertruck, whether it was the standard version or the Cyber Beast. Cyber Beast dropping about 13% below $100,000. But there was also the court ruling, Sia.
Yep. As we know it, in last year, August, Tesla had appealed the fatal autopilot crash suit, but it has lost the bid because the $243 million verdict has come out, and the suit, as we know it, focused on a 2019 collision that killed a 22-year-old woman as I spoke. And the collision occurred in Key Largo in Florida. So the car accelerated through an intersection just over 60 miles and hit a nearby empty parked car and its owners who were standing on the other side of the vehicle. So the jury determined that Tesla should be held partially responsible for the fatal crash. While Tesla did appeal, it was seeking to have the verdict tossed, but no luck.
No go, guys. All right, Tesla, a little bit in Greensville.
Yeah, I had it as one of the 3 stocks that I was going to look at today, and I had it written down as 408 to 409 long, right? And I like the fact, I didn't know about that story, but I was talking about the Cybertruck sales, getting to the downside that we talked about earlier. But this right here, this is that 408. Like, we went back to where it was yesterday. We dipped down into there earlier today, and then we had an epic move into 406. But, this has been the right area to go long on Tesla. So I think that if we can, we won't get it today, and even if we do, we might not want it. But this has been, a good downside spot to sit there and try to buy some Tesla ahead of 400. So, on a day trade, if you're here to try to, scalp it or make a quick little day trade, I think this is the spot. Like, not too worried about these tariffs anymore with Tesla. It seems like it's going to be a back and forth discussion for a while. So I'm just going to continue to think that this 408 is a good spot and then watch it as it comes back in and try to make a decision on trading it. But yeah, it's been good. So those are some good levels. A little scary earlier. I don't think you ever want to take Tesla too early in the morning. But right now, yeah, it's on a march to the upside, as is the whole market. So including the silver position that I'm in as well, as Google. Google now $1.25 in the money, silver out 8 cents. But yeah, I like Tesla here. And I said it was like another name. I think Google and Tesla are the 2 kind of like big cap names that I like at these current levels, along with sprinkle a little bit on Meta there.
Meta's about the valuation. Tesla's about the future. Meta's valuation. We were saying this morning, and forward Ps don't necessarily matter as much until you prove it the next quarter. But you also keep it in mind that, and I know I'm jumping to Meta, but just in context, it's a 17 forward P. Meta beats next quarter, and if the price is around the same, you're talking about an under 20p on a Mag 7 name, and that's just a buy. As far as Tesla goes, I agree with the support level. You could nitpick, saying that 405 to 406 is held 2 days. It doesn't really matter. It's the same inside day that we had yesterday, so the support and the resistance is completely unchanged. I was in a rule break, trend break, because I wanted something before the president was speaking, and I generally say don't take a trend break at VWAP or underneath VWAP, but that's what I did. So I did slam out of it and was waiting for another opportunity in Tesla, but then didn't want it as the president was on. If it was in the money while he was talking, that's one thing, but while he was talking, I didn't want any part of that because technicals don't matter in that kind of a situation. But for the rest of this afternoon, it's in a nice upward trend along with the market. If it fails to break that trend, I think an actual break of 415 is entirely possible. And going to another name, this is on the other end of the equation. Now, this never got to the price I wanted for a short, but Rivian is on the, we'll call it breakdown watch for the next little bit here. Obviously, it's already had a bad week. I mean, that speaks for itself. But it's taking the stairs down, like meaning, there's your false break, and then every single day, lower high, can't even, nowhere close, just drops, and then fails underneath lower high. Like every single resistance level from the day before is getting respected on Rivian, and it's got a $15 flat bottom break here, which could happen today, like 1, 2, 3, on a 15-minute. We tested this 3-4 times at exactly 15:01 on RIVN. So I like this for a breakdown today. I'd like it for a breakdown next week. It's just, I actually think this would have broken already if the market hadn't ran like it was. Rivian was headed toward this break, and the market probably saved them. Whether that will actually be able to hold, I don't know. But either way, I'm taking a short through 15.
All right, guys, let's talk about Palantir. Up 0.5%, was negative to start, but good look today. Bloomberg is reporting that a judge said 3 former Palantir employees may have broken privacy and non-solicitation agreements in founding their AI startup called Percepta. The court did refuse, though, to halt their work on the company, so they continue working on the company. Palantir had originally sued Percepta, Sia, and co-founder chief executive Hirsch Jain last year for initiating what they're called a campaign to recruit numerous Palantir employees after leaving the company in August of 24. Can you tell us any more?
Literally, that's everything. Both sides have claimed victory following the order, and the Palantir has called it a warning against employee solicitation, and defendants are saying that the court rejected Palantir's central claims. That's about it.
Yeah, and basically Palantir had tried to get some of these employees to be barred from working at Percepta. The judge denied that claim. He said they can go ahead, just have to follow the rules of the contract, guys.
Yep. It's very difficult to stop somebody from getting employment, even with a competitor. It's just, if there are rules to be followed about how you solicit them, that's one thing. You're not going to be able to stop them at the end of the day. And look, successful companies have to deal with that. If you got smart people, then sometimes you're going to lose them. That's just how it is, and I don't think that's anything new. I don't think this has anything to do with what Palantir is doing today. If you want to look at things, like, it turned around and was really choppy in the morning, but really turn around here right about 1 o'clock, like right as the president was talking. He was a little bit late to the podium, obviously, so he didn't. It was a little bit later, but he definitely. Well, I shouldn't say he definitely, but this definitely, along with the market, took another leg up, and it was distinctly different from the Nasdaq. Like, it's clear higher lows and holding VWAP kind of deal, whereas this actually looked like it was pressing back underneath, and it might have been a relatively weak day for Palantir. It's still underneath what the market is doing. Part of that, I think, is, look, it's still being held in a bit of the penalty box for the valuation and maybe some of the AI concerns, but it's really close to this breakout. I mean, eerily close, sort of breaking out that head and shoulders area that we were talking about yesterday, which was about 136.5. And as I say that, it's pulling back off that same level again today. But it's got a nice gap fill if it can take out that 136.5, and that's just this failed breakout here. That's what Palantir might be another one where that break is waiting another day. But if the market keeps coming down, the break on Rivian is not going to wait.
Look, yesterday Palantir was, I mean, I'll let you guys put on some bangers in the afternoon. This is one of the biggest trades of the day by far. Yesterday, we shorted this 136. We were all over it on the note. And for some reason, I didn't really look at it today. So, you know, this would have been a name definitely that we should have had some eyeballs on up there at 136. I mean, it was yesterday's little level. And, you know, we nailed that yesterday and didn't take it today. So, yeah, I'm focused on this Google long, and I'm short silver right now. But that would have been a great spot to get short there, Palantir. We'll see if it gives us another opportunity to do that after. If we get another bump up in the market, which would be fine for me. I mean, we still like this Palantir or this Google trade. But yeah, 136. Let's see if it comes through again. It's at 135.40 or now 135.20. That's a great trade. Sometimes, you know, stock have memory, and it remembers that 136 from yesterday twice, man. Like their V-shaped recovery back in, right back up again. That should have been 2 for 2 there, and don't have it, but that's fine. Palantir, again, I said there might not have been another easier trade than Open Door, but that one's pretty good too. So this is the thing about trading, man. Hindsight, you look back and you're saying, oh, well, yeah, that was pretty easy. But that Palantir at 136, we had it yesterday, should have had it today. No reason not to. So, all right, let's go back over and see what the next stock is. Maybe this one's silver. We'll see.
We'll start first. Sia, you have an update on tariffs.
Yeah, I do. So Scott Bessent's remarks, Treasury's estimates show that use of Section 122 authority combined with potentially enhanced Section 232 and 301 tariffs will result in virtually unchanged tariff revenue in 2026. And also bans on Supreme Court ruling on tariffs. This is lawlessness from the court, plain and simple.
All right, guys, some fighting words from Secretary Bessent. Let's talk about SLV, up 5.7%. Several reasons for this. Obviously, the first and foremost, President Trump's tariffs being struck down by the Supreme Court. That had the effect of dropping the U.S. dollar, which also has the corollary effect of helping metals rise. Separately, we also have escalating U.S.-Iran tensions with the biggest U.S. naval armada in the Middle East since the Iraq War in 2003. Separately, we also had weak GDP numbers, or worse than expected GDP numbers coming in today at 1.4% alongside a PCE of around 3, which just created a stagflationary signal. It complicates the Fed's path, boys. Silver up 5 3/4.
Okay. Yeah, this is what I was. Again, it doesn't really matter, but I had silver written down as the #1 trade, but it was a long lower than where we were. We were looking at $71.50 to $72. Now it does come in right there into 72 flat, but I was waiting for lower. So again, another trade that just don't have in the account here today that I kind of wish, obviously, that we did. But there it goes. And it just didn't hit the levels for me. This in here should have been more interesting. The hold of the 200 period and of VWAP basically. So that's interesting. So just learning more and more every single day about silver and just how much energy it has when it gets going, right? I mean, it hasn't even looked at the 200 period moving average. We did say, I mean, I've been trying to think about gold versus silver versus strong US dollar. I lost that chart, but the DXY is really doing nothing right now. So I'm going to hold the silver short, thinking that top, is an area where we could punch out. So I think the risk to reward on this is pretty good. We haven't averaged into this at all. We're just going to go short. And if it breaks the top, like we could have just got out there for flat. We don't want to do that. So we're going to wait to see if it does break through the top. It looks like it's going to do that. So silver right now downside for sure, and not looking, or upside, sorry, not looking like it wants to go downside there. So I'll have to look at gold. But yeah, for today, silver looks like it'll best me here. With 10 more cents and we're out.
It's the same. Gold's about the same chart. The only difference I find, like lately, the difference between the gold and silver chart is just silver is probably a bigger percent move, but they're more or less identical. And to your point with the dollar index, DXY is decidedly in the middle of today's range. I mean, it's like, you got to be kidding me. Like we were at 98.8 this morning. It was 97.8 and then up to 98, and basically just the same distance up and down, and then shallow, and then it's just all right back to where we started, which is wild. So kind of a nothing burger for now. But you could at least break. It's a wedge pattern, so it could break in either direction. Don't really have much to add because, I mean, silver is doing what it's doing, and gold, as I said, is the same chart. I did get that trend break on Bitcoin, which, I don't know, this chart looks almost the same thing as well. Like it was slightly off the highs, breaking trend down, was on its way to the volume weighted average price. This I'm not giving to the high of the day because the prior bar is actually tight to this 50 level. So I'm going to get out there if I can. And then, there is one look here if we can go to, I just want to go to a longer term chart of SLV. I want to go to a weekly chart for SLV and then we'll move on. It's that, I mean, today's Friday, obviously, so you're closing out on the weekly. You have a monster reversal candle here. Big red, couple of red candles inside of the range. We're going to get a pretty engulfing, like that's taking the entire last 2 weeks green candle in. So that might be a bit of a reversal candle. And if we can close, open above this 75, you could have something here on the weekly chart brewing with SLV. So 3 weeks in a row, red. And now trying to bounce a little bit. One more, I believe, or
that's it?
That was it.
I don't see anybody back there anymore. So that is a wrap. Yeah, look, man, only 5 days.
Yeah, we did test.
Only 4 days left. Almost said 5 days left there before everyone gets to experience the Trader TV Live Academy. So make sure you do sign up for that when it's released. We'll have more and more details to come in the upcoming days, but only one more day of the show, and then the Academy gets released, and it's just videos where we've come from, stuff that we look at every single day, discipline stuff. There's journals. You can keep track of your trades in there, journal entry spots. It's a very complex, sort of, not complex, but a website that has it all in there for you. You can go back. Comprehensive is a good word. Yeah, you can go back and rewatch different lessons. And you sort of mentioned something that was important. We're going to keep on updating it as well. New lessons in there as we go. It's basically almost like an FAQ of what we're doing here, what we're training on, and successful methods that beginning traders have used all throughout our careers. Our training here at Real Trading, I've trained thousands of traders worldwide, and so this is an accumulation of all of that, right, put together. So we're excited to launch something like that. You guys have asked for it, so it's coming right now, February the 24th, so it's coming in just 4 days. So we're excited to talk about that. We'll show some examples on the show and hopefully get your constructive feedback, you know, on what you think about it. So we're pretty excited to see how that goes and your guys, you know, reaction to what's available there on the Trader TV Live Academy, and we've all worked on it, so it should be a good one. We're excited to see
and waited a long time
how it takes off. Yeah.
I saw a couple people mention that CDIO. I thought this thing was a little bit load. I thought this was dead. Not gonna lie, this was the let's call it small cap Luis special of the day, where, I mean, in theory, we have Luis on, and he always mentions if it fails at the open and loses VWAP, it's trend down from there, but this is actually picking up a little bit of steam. This is what you'd want that RTX to, or RXT to do. RTX is Raytheon. Okay, I'm gonna get this out of the way. Everyone looking at the small cappers, if I say RTX, just know that I mean the small cap RXT. I probably don't mean to be talking about Raytheon, so I always make that mistake. But CDIO picking up in volume, 65 million. Let's see what it can do with the VWAP and the $3 level, because that was a big one on CDIO. Yeah, $3 was a bit of a rejection here. And then if we go back, a little head and shoulders action for CDIO. It needs to get back above the 3. Otherwise, there's going to be some faders in at that price. That's going to double check Rivian. Yeah, it's not. I mean, the market's catching a bit of a bid. This is losing acceleration to the downside. So that it's a triple bottom at 15. I just feel like if there's anything this week in the market, just breaking the low on a Friday would be a good place to go. And for anyone asking about details to come next week on Tuesday about the Academy. And we'll let you guys know anything and everything with the launch on Tuesday morning.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's what it's all about. Yeah, so I don't know, this Rivian, I'm going to leave the order in, but if this starts breaking out, then if it starts taking out highs, obviously there's no flat bottom break to be had on RIVN. So it is what it is. I kind of thought this one would be a little bit weaker than it was. Netflix and Amazon, apparently, according to Showtime, easy money today. You know, Netflix is screaming toward that 80 level again. So I know this got sort of written off last week because it was nasty when it lost the 80. But that one day, we haven't made a fresh low since that 75. So it's looking a heck of a lot better for Netflix. I mean, I say that, and let's be real, there's that level on the weekly that we were talking about. I was a buyer down there, so I bought once in front of the 83, which was this level on the weekly, and sort of said if we can't get back above there, then my next DCA is at the 200 period. I'm just talking about personally for myself. This will be, well, I mean, it's probably not gonna, yeah, this will be a green week. I don't want to be that guy, but I mean, come on. It'll be a green week for Netflix. I just don't see it dropping $3.50 plus in the next 80 minutes or so. So this will be the first green week for Netflix since mid-November of last year.
Hi, Netflix. Oh.
Yeah, that actually sounds. You know what's funny? When you say things, this is one other reason. A reason why journaling is good is because sometimes when you put something on paper or you say it out loud, it hits home a little bit better. When you say that one out loud, the downward flush in Netflix just hits a little bit harder. But when you like a DCA, sometimes you ignore the fact that it has been disgusting. And Netflix has been disgusting. So mid-November, and now we're going to get a green candle. Just keep in mind the last time there was a green candle, it was followed by all these red ones. So it doesn't necessarily mean that we're going to be bouncing. But I do agree, it's been a good week for Netflix, and it's going to end on a high. And remember, there was a news piece on this yesterday, which I thought was utter nonsense. It was basically, I forget the analyst that made this point. All they said was Netflix has ample cash to raise their bid if they wanted to for Warner Brothers Discovery. Not that they're going to raise their bid, but that they could if they wanted to. And the market sold that off as if it meant they were going to raise their bid, which was, I mean, in hindsight, that's like kind of ridiculous. But the way that it was being put out there yesterday, it did make it seem as if, and even Warner Brothers' reaction was the other way too, because Warner Brothers shot to the upside. My first thought wasn't to dip buy Netflix, it was to try and grab the Warner Brothers short, which I missed. Thankfully, there was a bounce play in that stock. But yeah, Netflix looking much, much better. No sign that they're going to actually raise a bid for Warner Brothers. And you also have Paramount Skydance running out of time. They got that 7 days, and they're running low. I think there's only a few days left for them to, well, obviously they're considering the current bid. They could also raise their bid while it's getting considered. Once that 7 days is up, we're right back to brass tacks of Netflix deal winning out at $27.75 and forget about $30.
I think they're going to like that. I think Netflix.
I still think Netflix closed the deal.
Here.
But
all right, we got stopped out of silver. Obviously, here as Google keeps on going to the high side, we're thinking about getting another piece out on this one. I was actually waiting for 316, like almost the top there, to see if that can. 316. So that's where my offer is. Let's see if that goes. I am going to. The other trade was Tesla. I want to go long on a 411 break. Like I don't necessarily want to believe that it's going to bounce off right here, so I'm not going to take it while it deals with it. But if it does get back up over this 411 that we've had a problem with right there, I mean, maybe we can even just zoom in just a little bit more on it and just right into there. So that's 4. I put a break of 10s, but like it's really 4. It could almost be 411 flat, but just to get up one more little level there. Just break it, continue to go, and then we can use some of these levels as our outs. So we'll put on like a 1 unit trade or so if we can break above there. I feel like the futures will go back. I mean, we're above VWAP, and this is actually something I just scanned through a bunch of different stocks there, trying to find out like which ones are going which way. And for me on Tesla, just bouncing off VWAP right here could be a trade. So we're going to watch to see what it does. I mean, it hasn't necessarily been cool all day VWAP. I mean, it's been definitely breached a bunch of times and might not be any valid at all. So that's why we're going to be very, very patient with this trade and wait to see if we do get an actionable spot here. And if we do get back up to the upside, let's play the momentum and break higher. And then we can use, that's already 40 cents if we can get the 25 period. If you get back into the 50 period, then you're looking at a dollar club. And then after that, more upsides. We say, give me more on that trade right there for Tesla, if that can get up to the upside. Just trying to see if there's anything else that's kind of flattening out a little bit. Intel's flattening out.
I just got to look at CrowdStrike and PanW.
Yeah, are they still going lower? Why? Why are they
just
going
made
lower?
Fresh lows, man.
396? That was PanW.
I'm only saying that because I had a stink bid on this. So like I really didn't think this was gonna hit. I had just moved it up too. Like when PanW reported their earnings, when Palo Alto reported their earnings, I was like, in the off chance that we get a big flush, let's stink bid it. And when it didn't flush on Palo Alto's earnings, I moved it up because I wanted to buy Crowd, not Palo Alto. So I'm like, I'll just bid in front of $400, and maybe in the next couple of weeks we'll actually get hit. Because it felt like you bounced off 400, you made a higher low 2 days ago, you made a higher low yesterday, and then we opened up breaking 420. I'm like, okay, well there's a support level at $400. If that happens in the next couple of weeks, I'll just put my stink bid in. Next thing you know, there was this headline, and I'll try to find it exactly. Let me try to find the actual headline for you on Gemini. Here we go. Just pop it up here. And it's making frontier cybersecurity capabilities available to defenders. Anthropic launches Claude Code Security. A new capability built in the Claude Code on the web is now available in a limited research preview. So when that headline hit, both CrowdStrike and Palo Alto did this. Obviously nasty. That was like a $30 drop there in Crowd, and Palo Alto, very similar, and through the lows again on CrowdStrike. And Palo Alto dropped from 155 to $150, so a 3% move down. They were all green. They were both green on the day, and now you're headed right back into the lows. So not looking very good for the cybersecurity names. Look, we're living in a world now where if you get it, now it's like you get a Claude headline as a competitor. Remember, it used to be if Amazon was coming into your industry, you were just going to get the tank. Like if it was the pharmaceuticals, like that headline hits, and you're just going to go down.
Well, it's all the SaaS. Anything SaaS.
Anything.
We saw IGV getting crushed.
You don't want cloud in your stock in the same sentence because it's going down.
Yeah, no, you don't. AI, cloud, anything like that. But it's really strange to see the cyber names going down because I really do like it. But we are in a new position now. We're going to be short Intel, and it's a trade that. I like to put on every once in a while an Intel trade. So we'll see what winds up happening here. And again, so I've canceled that Tesla move. I mean, the market just came down. You can still take that Tesla trade if you like it. It's just right now, there's the breach. Like I was expecting us not to even get really to VWAP. The fact that we did it, and now it's just kind of like, thinking about going down. You could take the long now and use whatever this low is, basically 410, but it's too much action to the downside for me. But you could get going. I don't know. All right, so I'm going to take the opposite here and go short. So opposite meaning like I was looking long there for Tesla. Intel's down 1%. Obviously, the market is also going opposite of Intel, so that's kind of why I like it. If the market does wind up falling down, so should Tesla. Sorry, so should Intel. I'm bidding some. I was just bidding 12s there. We got missed, of course. Maybe I shouldn't be bidding Nasdaq. I should bid something else where I can maybe just get the fill down there in case it does go down again. All right, we'll put another bid there. On something that might fill a little bit better than Nasdaq. Yeah, so we were just at 12, right at this sort of level, ahead of 10, just to try to take out 10% or so. Then our real area of concern. Oh, there we go. We got more short there. Okay, is right there, 43.80. So remember, like if we're going to go short, trying to have our average price in and around where we are at now. 44.30s would be a great average price, but let's just say it is what it is. If we don't get any more fills, we're always trying to go 1-to-1, So if we can get out half of our trade at that spot, then that would be great. So right now being short at 20s, getting out at 40s, we need something down to 44. So we could take a piece at 12 just because it's bounced off there. That's why I'm trying to get 10%. And then we'll see if we get the other 40% or so down here at O's, but this trade may not work. It's just that's how I'm projecting it and what I'm looking to do on Intel. So that would be that trade right now. And I mean, even as I look through this watch list, man, it's kind of like this is the stocks that I watch out for, and these are stocks that either are in my portfolio or names that I trade either here live on the show or opportunities that I'm looking for. Silver's leading the way there. We went short it. Obviously, that's not going to be the good trade, and we're able to get out right there, right? There's the same thing as Intel, where I thought it was at the top, shorted it, blow up. I mean, the market might do that. We're long Google, so that's good. Google's up 4%. And if we sort of just sort this by what's been up or down, it's Silver, Google, Coinbase on a nice little rally back there for Bitcoin. It's not like it's a huge rally or anything, 67.5 right now for Bitcoin. Netflix, Qs, Meta, Uber. Like I said, I think Meta is at a good value spot right now as well. And then on the other side, man, SMR, just, oh my God, down another 7%. Really glad that we were able to sell out of that one at 57. We did buy some back at 30, so we're out of the money well on that one, but the sale at 57 was pretty key there. Thanks to Adair, if you're still watching, I give her credit for this all the time. Getting out of Oracle at 319 was just absolutely huge. I could buy it back for half.
There's an interesting one. Remember we were just talking about Meta?
Yeah.
Oracle's forward PE also dropped to 17.
Yeah,
so
I don't like
that's
Oracle
one where it's starting to, it'll get to the point.
Yeah, it's a value.
Yeah, where it turns into because think about it, 6 months ago, it was probably not even 6 months ago, maybe it's like 3 or 4, the discussion around Oracle was like, oh my God, the new thing and the growth and all that. And to fast forward a quarter or a couple of quarters, and we're talking about this as the next play is it's going to be a value play. Life comes at you fast.
Which one, Oracle? Yeah. And I think it is a value play. I mean, even down here.
I'm not buying it, but.
No, I don't know. I mean, yeah, to each their own. I mean, Roblox is breaking lower. There's XOM. I mean, we always think that here, if you're going to buy a stock, it's easier to buy a stock that's on an uptrend that's pulling back.
Wow, DraftKings.
Yeah, I mean, we got out of DraftKings at $36. We did that live on the show, so thank God for that. But anyways, XOM, this would be one that's, really cooking to the upside. You guys know we're into XLE, so I like XLM and XOM and seeing where that goes from here on a downside drift. But yeah, just to buy any more of these tech names, most of these names on here are going to be tech related just because it's what I trade and what I'm looking at. But Uber nicely battling back now, that's $74. Yeah, for me, Meta, I should have a column on here. I'm going to go see if I can do that in eSignal, that's PE. Just for my own investments. It has nothing. I don't think PE is the necessary story.
They have that in eSignal. Of course they do, right?
I don't know what. Yeah, I would think so. I made the most for myself, like almost like I don't know what generational wealth is. I didn't do that. But Palantir, buying this thing at $11 and getting more and more of it, and being able to sell some of this thing where we were able to, on the way up, and then holding a significant portion. My best out is around that 200, and then we could have took out some decent amounts. Where's my thing? At 175, here we go. I'm just trying to show you, what can happen as we show you Rigetti and SMR. It has nothing to do with that we found one in Palantir. There's a lot of stocks that look like this. You know, you can go back over, you know, one that you were in, QBTS, Rigetti.
I wouldn't put, I don't put QBTS in the category of a Palantir. That's not fair.
No, I'm saying for the blow up that it had. Like QBTS was $1 stock and it went to $30. So I'm just saying you could have, you know, life-changing money in some of these names, and I'm just like, what's next? So like on pullbacks in, like this is the kind of stuff you got to be able to think like, what is the next thing, right? And I mean, you could have had Nvidia at a couple dollars, you know, and that went to $2,000. So I mean, we don't even have to. I mean, look at this Nvidia chart, you know, to show you where we're coming from on this one. If I go over to a weekly chart here, these are real. Obviously, we have a couple of splits that have happened in here, but all you have to do is like, if you go back to like 20. Like, is this really that long ago? 10 years ago, you have an Nvidia at $1. You know, you put in 10 grand into that right now, then you have generational wealth. That's $10,000 up to 200, right? From $1, 200 times your money, you know, all the way to the upside now. Again, whatever wealth you guys want to get is
well, but if you're looking, but you can also look more recently than that.
But that's only 10 years, and that's why I say QBTS was last year.
Robinhood
you could have had 50 times.
Robinhood was down at $10 for 2 years.
Yeah.
For 2 years, Robinhood was down at $10. And it got me, look, it's at 75 now, I get that. And anyone that bought it, I'm not trying to, look, there's probably a bunch of people who are not happy with the performance in Robinhood. But certainly, when you see this, and it's like barcoding, and you happen to like the stock or like the company, then you buy it. Now, I remember this very well because during that time, I elected to, I like SoFi. And I remember looking at Robinhood and SoFi, and I used to complain. We would complain about it all the time on the show. It's like, man, while those things were basing out at the lows, I should have been buying Robinhood instead of SoFi. But I just happened to like SoFi more. And so I was buying SoFi, and it's not like it was bad, but you look back, you can't hate because SoFi ran very nicely. It gave you 4x, maybe 5 if you're really, really good. I wasn't. But Robinhood I think Robinhood's probably the best charting example on a monthly of so long of a base and then that big of a breakout for something that was, I don't want to say it was wildly popular. I know there was after the meme craze and people were hating on it, but ultimately not a ton had fundamentally changed. It got some bad press and obviously had to work through, but you know, it gives you the example. The only reason I was saying all that about QBTS is, and because I know that one at $1, because there was a discussion my wife and I had about quantum, and I was like, yeah, but I don't know anything about these companies, so I don't really, because we were talking about like what's the next best thing in TFSAs with my wife, and then she's like, well, I was at this conference, or no, she was in a class, she was in this data security class that she was doing, and like everyone was talking about this company. She's like, it's under $1. I'm like, yeah, well, that seems like it could be as good as any of these other ones. I'm like, I don't know the difference between them. So we're like, yeah, okay, let's just buy some. It's underneath $1. It'll be pretty cheap. And then next thing you know, and I won't lie, like we were selling it. We sold some at 4, we sold some at 8, and then hold some for the dream kind of deal. I wish I had the foresight to realize what was going to happen. But sometimes it's that simple. And there's a difference between this is a gamble shot play stock, and I'm willing for it to go to 0, and buying a Palantir. I don't think you can put those two things in the same category because Palantir was a company that had been around for quite some time and actually had a business that was making money. And QBTS.
No, they didn't.
No, okay, sorry. No, what I should say, generating actual revenues with actual clients. That's what I should say. None of the quantum names. Like, let's be real.
You gotta have conviction on your plays.
No, but like Major League Baseball players at the minimum make like 20 times as much money as like any of those quantum companies do in revenue. They don't have revenues yet, a lot of them.
No.
Like if they make a couple $100 grand, that's a good quarter for them. So they're very different types because you want to start by having an actual base, but the upside is tremendous, I believe. Absolutely tremendous in them because one breakthrough, and then you do have the dream. Now let's go back over to Sia.
Just to let you know about something really important here. So after what we just heard about U.S. President Donald Trump speaking, here are some industries that are still going to be facing higher rates and tariffs. First one being food and consumer packaged goods. Companies such as Coca-Cola, Pepsi, Keurig, Dr. Pepper, and Reynolds will continue to face higher costs which are associated with manufacturing their products, since Trump also hiked aluminum tariffs to 50% last year. Furniture industry will also be facing greater uncertainty. 25% tariff expected to rise to 50% in 2027. Pharmaceutical tariffs will also be covered under Section 232. The administration has floated imposing tariffs on the industry that could reach up to 250%, more than the 200% already in place. And automotive. I would like to read this statement out from Lenny LaRocca, who is a U.S. automotive lead for consulting firm KPMG. With today's decision out and subsequent developments, there remain many unknowns and important questions still to be answered. This is not a moment to ease up. Ford Motor, as we know earlier this month, said its net tariff impact is expected to be roughly flat year over year at $2 billion in 2026.
All right, thanks.
The market liked it when Ford said that.
Yeah, I just want to say, like, I'm trying to get out of some Google here, you know, near these highs. So we'll see what winds up going on there. I'm at like, I was at baseball evaluations yesterday for 4:30 to 6:30. I'm at baseball evaluations all tomorrow, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. there. So if you are registered for High Park Baseball, your boy will be evaluating your kid tomorrow. I've already got some people emailing me right here today.
I love it. Baseball's back. I was disappointed because yesterday there's these they're actually finally doing some all girls. Aaron's still playing. My daughter's still playing against the boys, but they're doing all girl training camp.
Yeah, good, perfect.
And so we signed her up for like 6 of them. But then yesterday I was like, okay, her ninja parkour is not over, and she loves the ninja parkour. So I couldn't convince her to be like to not do ninja parkour to go to the baseball thing. Like, you do it's her choice. She gets to do whatever.
So, I mean, I coached the all girls. For 5 straight years, all girls rep team. But Gia also plays. The house league is boys, is co-ed, and then I do the all girls.
There aren't enough
there.
There's not enough.
No, we're actually revolutionizing it at
in the West. You see,
so yeah, shout out to that and to everybody that's supporting, you know, female sports and everything like that. And yeah, I've been doing it my whole life, obviously. Gia just came out of the womb an athlete, so 5.5 weeks early. So, you know, we weren't sure what she was going to be like, but very, very proud of everything.
Lily's better.
Obviously, that she is
eager.
being, you know, very, very. She doesn't like baseball nearly as much as hockey, as who can blame her? But at the end of the day, you know, she loves both. She told me today, she's like, Dad, I don't really want to play baseball, but I really want to play with the girls, the baseball. So that's good for me. But unfortunately, we have many more house league games than we do rep games, and we have a couple tournaments. We got to miss one because she got hockey in Minnesota, but I think there's 3 or 4 travel tournaments, which should be a lot of fun. So she's excited for that for baseball. We go down to Ottawa. We host one here at High Park. There's one at Royal York. And then there's the one that we're missing, which I think is Ancaster. So not too bad. But yeah, traveling to Minnesota. So get ready if you're in Minnesota. I'll be there in, I think it's June for hockey in June.
Where in Minnesota?
St. Mary's, I think it is. It's at some big, I think it might be at the university or something like that. Anyway.
Yeah, I just saw in the chat, someone's like, it was asked.
And we had chess yesterday.
What is going on with Iran today?
Iran?
This is why I didn't notice. See, what happens is when we add the tariff headline, like you're starting to go for the things that you're looking at everything that's breaking out, right? And so, you know, some things might have got missed. I mean, some people might have missed the cybersecurity stocks going to the downside. Whether you think that's overdone or not, it is what it is, man. Like that headline, we're in a market now where a headline that you could be disrupted by AI is going to cause some tankage. But Iran, I don't really see a news story. There's nothing since Tuesday. It's just some relative weakness. This is a potential breakdown on this stock. It's respected the 200 period. But yeah, that's nasty. Almost double digits to the downside on Iran. It's broken $40. There's still, I mean, there's a little bit of a level here at 39.5 that it could go, but not looking good for them. And again, we'll keep it ear to the ground, but I have not seen a story explaining it. And I've checked a couple of times now. IBID still, it broke the trend, got halfway to VWAP. I'm going to try to reload it at break even. As long as it holds on to this trend down, it has a chance to get into the volume weighted average price here for sure. And let us know what else you guys are watching in the chat. And remember, Rohan in the chat there, you know, if you use $, Something we don't do is restart this. I'm gonna give this a fresh.
Yeah, right, we should.
I'm gonna, because we don't do this enough in the afternoon. So I just give a fresh start to our locator here. And what that means is anyone in the chat, and first of all, if you're not in the chat, hit the subscribe, hit the like, jump in the chat. It's a great community. And you just type $ in the symbol you're looking at. So I would then say IREN, which I'm gonna do right now. And well, everyone's doing it, so you probably won't even see IREN because there's so many other names popping, ONDS, and CrowdStrike, and keep it to tickers, everybody. I see what you just did there, Bart. All right, there's always somebody. So SMR in there, Oklo. You mentioned SMR is having a really bad day.
Yes,
I haven't looked, but...
Not as bad as IREN.
Oh, what happened? Did you see that?
No.
Oh, okay. It just went blank for a second.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. Sometimes I can't tell whether it's my screen that just does it because...
SMR and IREN are both down almost exact same. So.
Yeah, so 9%, 8.5%. I think, it could be static electricity. Here's another flat bottom break. These are getting moked.
Yes, they are.
Bottom is coming in. Oklo, probably the same thing, right? Blue Ocean. Shout out to Blue Ocean if you ever want to trade in the aftermarket in the overnight. That's a market you can participate in.
Yes.
But we're not going to be looking at it here. 7% down for Oklo. Although this is not quite at the absolute bottom. Looks like a break of some significant lows is more imminent for SMR than it is for Oklo. BBAI seems to be on here. One thing I don't understand is it usually tells us the price and percent change, but I guess it has to take some time to load up.
It should. Unless it's not loading properly. All right, I'm gonna get out some more Google. I mean, the market's going downside right now, and I'm kind of surprised that Google's just hanging out up here. So I'm gonna put a stop at basically at this 200 period break. Well, we could get a little more spicy with it and go all the way down there, but why would we do that? Let's just get out if it breaks this, 314.89. So we're gonna put a stop in right now for Google, and ho-hum, man, if it goes against us, we'll just have to take $1.50 or whatever it is. So 3.9, oops, I'm gonna put 3.19. 314.89, okay? If it drops out, we'll get out of that one. We're long at 313.80, so worst case, it'll be about $1 and change. We've already taken out a lot on this. I mean, this will be my #1 symbol today. I've traded now 4 symbols. SLV was quickly in and out. Like, that should have been a long, but I was testing against the high of the day. I think I did well enough to explain to you sort of what my thought pattern was with that one, and I hope it made a little bit of sense anyways. So that's what I was doing with SLV there. Intel, yeah, buddy, let's go to the downside. We've been shorting this one, and here we go, another profitable name, hopefully anyways, for me on Intel. And take another piece out at 19. We're short now at 24s. We talked about this, our out's gonna be at 40. Unfortunately, it's now, see, I don't think the power hour thing went again. Normally we hear that. Did you guys see the power hour thing at 3 o'clock? Let me know if you did.
I think maybe there's no sound with it, and that's why.
There's supposed to be. They're supposed to go power hour.
Yeah, I didn't hear it either.
I'm gonna have to rewind it. Well, turn it up then, Andre. I want to hear that power hour thing.
The problem is the power thing is powered by JFrog.
Let's go. Yeah, JFrog's going to the downside right now. Here goes Intel. We're 10 cents in. This is not like a crazy trade, but remember, now our average price is 25. So we are going to stop out at 40s. So if that breaks 40s, then we're out. So we'll take, yeah, let's go. Right now, big trade alert on this side right now. Intel, nice move to the downside. So again, we found something that we liked, you know, just something that had some kind of support there or resistance. We take it. Now let's see how far down it can print. Okay, so some people did hear the, oh yeah. All right, some people saw the graphic, not the sound. That's okay.
That's what
I don't really know why I'm wearing these glasses. They were just there and I put them on. But that's what we're doing right now, watching out for power hour to hit. Got it. Good, he hit it again. So 3 o'clock, 3:02 and change. We are only 4 days away from Trader TV Live Academy. Remember, make sure you guys do check that out upon its said release. Should be a real good release. We're really excited for that and can't wait for you guys to find out what it's all about. All right, Google, a nice move, man. We were still waiting for Austin, 316. My guy's not here anymore, but there it is, right up here again. Let's take some more out, man. We are on fire today. So far, so good here trading, but there goes Google, man. Good trade on that one. We only have 2 looks on Google today, and both were dip buys right there and then right there again off the 200. This was off, I think it it must have been off the 21 there, or 25, and there it goes. Nice move to the upside. We just got another bid, I believe. No, we didn't get another bid on Intel. Okay. Oh, we got Google. That's what we got. So we got the Google out right there. Something filled, and there it is right there. So now we're getting lighter and lighter, man. About 5% left of this one. So far, so good. I don't know, man. I hope Intel goes a little bit more. We got to pass it to Neil, and then I'll talk to you, Benjamin.
As some things are heading to the downside right now, we've got more moves in gold and silver. And in the world of gold and silver, that volatility isn't a hurdle. It's an opportunity. But harnessing it is going to require the right tools. Beta Pro by Globex delivers on that edge as Canada's first and longest running suite of leverage, inverse, and inverse leverage ETFs. Beta Pro provides a decisive way to engage with metal markets. Through 2x daily bull and bear exposure, these funds are built for the precision and momentum the modern markets demand. Designed for sophisticated Canadian day traders who understand the risks of leverage and the power of a tactical response, Beta Pro provides the agility to navigate market moves in either direction. Don't just follow the gold and silver markets, position yourself for what's next. Discover the suite at betapro.ca. Scan the QR code in front of you. And remember, with those comes decay. Great trading vehicles, not always the best for longer term investing or even longer term swing trades because you all know that dreaded decay will go get you. That's at least usually what will happen. So at the end of the day, yeah, I mean, there's silver for you as well if you happen to be looking at it, trending back into the upside. There's almost no chance anymore that it would break this trend. So I usually like afternoon trend breaks, but I don't think this one has a chance to do it. We have Anil with a super chat.
Oh.
Anil, buy low, sell high. Good name. Or buy high, sell higher. Just want to say thank you for all the energy, fun, and great info from you guys. Spy made 500p on 695 calls. Happy Friday, and great weekend. Peace. Peace out to you. And don't forget to tune in next week as well. And another one, we got two super chats here. Adam James Abroad. Yeah, I know, SoFi. Seriously, what's up with SoFi after the blowout quarter? You know what? The thing is, SoFi has had big. How many times have we seen this? If you've been in SoFi long enough, then you're accustomed to SoFi having a big quarter and then selling off on it. And I think, unfortunately, for SoFi, you have a couple of things that are not working. One, you had the rollover in some of like the risk and like just call it the growthier section of the market. So it was already feeling some pain for that. Then throw in the fact that you're also getting a pullback just in the banks themselves. Like the financials themselves are also pulling back. So it's like doubly bad for SoFi right now. Like the XLF, I think for everything we keep talking about the overall market, the XLF lost the 200 period moving average. We haven't been down there since like just after the tariff tantrum on the financials. So this ETF is not looking good. I understand that's not representative of SoFi, but SoFi has a few things working against it. Again, like that momentum trade coming down heavily, and then throw in the fact again that financials are under a bit of pressure right now and have not been as healthy. Maybe not the part of rotation that I would have been expecting, but it's true. And there had been no signs yet of a bottom for SoFi. I mean, XLF absolutely has looked like it's making a bottom, but SoFi lost that 19 today. And barring a miracle, we're going to close losing that support at 19 bucks. Here. So yeah, it's probably got some more room to go. There's always a chance that we could wick this bottom, just hold it at the last minute though.
I'm getting out, yeah, I mean, I like SoFi, I like Robinhood, but the bleed is real, and wow. Honestly, man, here we go. I know it's low volume this afternoon, but you got tickets to the VIP right there. Yeah, that's right, Erie Pages, man. If you get the confidence and you take the trades, there it is, man. We were picking out 316. I told you that level. Unfortunately, we were getting nervous because there was no volume and nothing going on the futures. We were able to get it out before then, but this just looks crazy, man. Planting red roses right there, but it's a nice upside trade anyways to end of the day. Yo, what up, Danny boy? Regular pants, it's good. It's better than having brown pants. All right, ooh, nice move on Intel, downside. Yeah, buddy. All right, this has been a great week to own silver mining companies. Yeah, you could say that again. And a big, awesome that's the case. I mean, silver's 4 or 5 straight days up. I don't know if it had a red day this week. Okay, and it may be tempting to jump on the FOMO boat. Yes, always it is. That's my problem. Thinking that the companies reporting next week will just be as good. Well, I mean, if they're silver companies, gold miners, things like that, I mean, you know, they can now accrue such a much higher price on their book. So all these earnings estimates that were out there are getting blown out of the water because now you can book silver at whatever, $80 an ounce when, you know, you had it at $40 your last report, you know. And so obviously there's analysts out there that are starting to jack up their estimates and upgrading and all of that. But, you know, you don't realize how good it is until you actually see the numbers. And if you had some examples of some names you want to
No, Pan American, they reported 2 days ago.
Yeah, so that's...
And they just broke, I mean, they didn't break out through the highs, but they've been pulling back with silver. And, you know, they just gave you a couple of good, strong days. Look at the dip buys on PAS. Very good dip buys the last couple of sessions. Now, obviously, it's not going to be at the highs given the pullback that silver's had, but this is what can happen with the miners. You can have a deep drawdown because they usually lag in the first place, so they already have some catching up to do. And as Sean was just pointing out, like you get those bookings at better prices and they get the benefit. So, you know, it's not that these are going to break out before, if silver bounces, they're breaking out before silver breaks out. That's just how it is. Overall. So that's another trend. There's always a trend somewhere. I can't think off the top of my head, I can't think of another silver name that reported this week. This is the first one that came to mind. So I can't really say if like everybody that reported the week has the same benefit, but certainly Pan American Silver does. But SL, and that's the other side of it too, is you could simply be saying, I don't like the volatility risk in spot silver or physical silver. Maybe you just want to own something like Pan American. Well, you might not have the same crazy upside, but it gives you another way to play into it. I know plenty of people that prefer GDX to gold. They just wait for gold to go and they trail it with GDX, figuring it's just follow the leader kind of deal. But you lose out some upside. Let's be real. That's just par for the course.
Yeah, I'm in gold, just GLD. Okay, there goes Google. You know, it just went to 316.40s or so now I'm sitting there, take a piece out. That was the high. I mean, it was basically the high of the day. Just came in again for Google, that little way. I mean, that's why we were sitting there. It's 50s, we're at 40s. I believe it just went to 38s and we just got missed. So it's okay, we don't have a whole bunch left right now. Yo, Dinkelberg, what's going on, my guy? 499 wants to know about Owl, so we can have a quick look in there. Is the fear overblown on Owl?
I don't think so.
I don't know, man. I mean, we saw the IGV go to the downside, and there's been a lot of pressure points there for Blue Owl. What was it, just redemptions? Like, I don't even really know what the story was there.
It's the private...
yeah, private equity markets, yeah.
At the end of the day, like, what happened, I think it used to be like 75% institutions were in the private credit markets.
Right.
So like most of the actual investing into places like Blue Owl was institutions, and that flipped to like a lot of retail, and which I guess were quicker to pull money. And so with all the redemptions, they had to be like, no, like, stop the redemptions. Like I think there's at least some fear there. When was the last time you had these types of concerns in credit markets and it wasn't something a little bit deeper? Like usually, like the first shoe to drop is not the last in that space. But look, I've never owned one of these. I've never considered it. The chart speaks for itself in a lot of ways right now for Blue Owl. I don't think there's anyone rushing to this bid at this current moment. That being said. No, but I do think there's probably some concerns, and you got to have some.
Yeah, people saying that it has, I mean, I don't know, Jack. I've just admitted I don't know nothing about the story, but you're saying that Blue Owl is affecting CoreWeave and all these other names there today, and also, you said also IREN.
Because
these are already publicly funded.
They've come to the point where a lot of the funding for a lot of these companies was going to places like this, and with those redemptions, if that's not available for them for capital, well, if it's A, you're limiting the ways they can come up with capital, and B, you're pushing the chance that they have to go to further dilution, which would be bad for a CoreWeave because debt's already going to be a bit of a concern for them. But yeah, I do think it could have some unwind, but as far as like individual ways to play that, that's where it gets a little bit trickier. You can't just sit there and say, oh, I'd want to short Owl. CoreWeave would be a good example. We got another super chat from How. Thank you, How. Thanks for the help this week, and have a good weekend. I hope you have a good weekend as well. And remember, just because the Academy is getting launched on Tuesday, we're back on Monday. That has nothing to do with the market being open or closed now. we've picked Tuesday because we picked Tuesday. I actually don't even know necessarily the logic behind it, but I hope you have a great weekend as well. Some of Canadians' weekends will be predicated on how things go Sunday morning.
Oh yeah. I should be able to be able to watch that. See what time.
You might be at the rink, but
we will be at the rink. But whatever.
I mean,
there's a lot of hockey.
You can watch the game at the rink.
Yeah, there's a lot of.
You can always watch the game at the rink.
Hockey minds at a hockey rink. Yeah, I think this weekend is only 3 or 4 rinks. But anyways, okay. So can't afford hockey unless you make some decent trades. And right here, we're gonna watch out for Intel. We just got a 16 fill. I don't, we got 16 and we got 18. This may not go down. So I'm starting to empty it right here. I thought with these futures going down that we were on the way back into the end of this trade. With this 314 now, we're hoping that there is some life to this trade, but it may not get going. We have Nvidia earnings next Wednesday. So, you want to talk about what a busy week it is. We'll launch the Academy on Tuesday. Then we have Nvidia on Wednesday, and it should be just a real exciting report because honestly, this has done nothing for 8 months or 6 months. We've sort of highlighted this. I keep doing the same thing over and over again. It goes all the way back to August right now for Nvidia, just in a straight line, basically sideways. And we've identified there as well the Qs basically doing something very, very similar. If you talk about what the Nasdaq has done over that time. So a lot of trades and traders waiting patiently to see what winds up happening with the Nasdaq because the last time we broke to the highs were on Nvidia earnings, and here it goes right here again, right back to September, October levels. So if you're sitting in this index, meanwhile, a stock like EEM, emerging markets, continues to go higher. We don't need to talk about all the other names that continue to run, but if you've been in EEM since, that's a minute chart, sorry. These are emerging markets, so you're talking about basically anything outside the major, the London and Canada here, Toronto, New York. This is what this has been doing since September. So the Nasdaq's at the same price. This was $52, now $62. So you're up about 15 to 20% in that same time that the Nasdaq is doing nothing. And of course, a lot of that is based on the fact that most of the U.S. companies, most of all the tech names are in the United States. So you're not going to get too much emerging market love from the tech space. That's where you are going to get the gold, the silver, the utility names, the manufacturing, things like that. So that's why emerging markets continues to get higher. EWJ, for example, Japanese, EWZ for Brazil as well, continue to make moves higher there. I mean, look at the Japanese market, crazy. You're in this in September. I mean, you're in this at 70 or whatever this, if this can calm down, 77, 78 up to 91. I mean, very, very similar market there. EWZ for Brazil. Similarly to the upside there as we talk about commodity prices and now oil starting to go upside. So Brazil's going to love that. And there that goes, been in this from September. I'm just picking September because that's when the Nasdaq, what we use there, that's $28 up to $38 right now. So, lots of strength and love outside of the United States. And we'll see if we can capture sort of that back in on the TQs on Wednesday, when if Nvidia can sort of help the rest, raise it up, we'll see what that can do, and hopefully it'll battle back with the Qs and get that going. So, but yeah, just to be invested in the United States has been a losing proposition here. Although the SPY has been okay, it's been more than Nasdaq. But
just blame it all on the mags.
Yeah, well, of course you have to. I mean, just like they took responsibility for all the money we made on the way up.
It works both ways, everybody. Like the mag,
like CrowdStrike.
I actually didn't realize this until I just looked at it. But remember, this morning we're talking about the breakdown on the weekly of the mags where it broke this support at about 62.7. Well, I mean, don't look now, but I mean, there's an outside chance. This could actually close, bounce under and close a little bit of that gap. You get a late run, okay, you're running out of time, there's only 40 minutes left, but this is pulling right back into that prior support. So maybe this is as far as it's gonna go. I think I was talking about the 50 period here on the mags on the weekly, maybe for another leg down, but we're gonna end up with a bounce this week. And hey, I guess we can thank, it seems like it was the Supreme Court decision that led us to it. So yeah, things have definitely changed. That looked like it was gonna close looking rather weak, and then maybe another down week in there. But on Wednesday, where we're at on Monday or Tuesday, unfortunately, even if it looks a little bit better, it's just not gonna matter. Because what happens is, on Wednesday night, Nvidia happens, and then you'll see the market reaction. Nvidia is going to move the Nasdaq, and you'll see us in the aftermarket show. Like, we won't just look at Nvidia; we'll show you what the Qs are doing if they have a more than 5% move. Usually, if Nvidia is less than like 6%, then okay, it's pretty stable. It's not going to be the end of the world. But if they outpace that in either direction, then we're humming for sure. Hopefully to the upside, but. I'm still of the mood, even with today, I'm still of the mood that the tone in earnings has been, we don't care how big you beat, we're gonna find something, and if we can find something that we don't like, maybe it's margins, maybe it's CapEx spend. But if we find it, you're going down. Even if you initially pop on what will probably be a big beat top and bottom. I mean, they're gonna beat top and bottom. Nvidia always does.
Yeah, oh yeah, for sure, 100%.
Almost like, I mean, I couldn't even tell you the last time that they missed on
no, they will beat. Yeah,
they'll beat. It's just
just a matter of what the guide is like and what they'll think about it. I mean, we saw Alex Karp and Palantir guide beat everything, stock down 40%. You know, we've seen SoFi guide beat everything, stock down 40%. You know, Open Door today, easiest trade of the day, down now.
They did miss on their guidance.
Oh, the guidance.
The
the guidance.
Revenue guidance was actually a decline.
Yeah, which is why this trade is like embarrassing not to have that, but there it goes down to the downside there for Open Door. So yeah, I'm nervous about it. I mean, AMD, I thought, you know, they ripped up on their quarter as well. How did that, you know, wind up there before they, you know, this is their day. They did, you know, make moves to the downside as well. But, you know, that was tricky watching out for their earnings report as well. And that's downside there. And this is kind of basically trying to hold on, man. Like, we said that we liked this name at 200. I was lucky enough to sell some up into there, didn't reload it, didn't sell any more back there, and now you're all the way in for Advanced Micro Devices. So we'll see if they can get going on Wednesday as well. Broadcom's another one of those names. I mean, Robinhood had a decent report and tried to get back. Their report wasn't the greatest, but they tried to get back upside as well, as you can see right here on a little pop. And then just since then, just all the way back down and looking like they want to break the lows as well right into there. So earnings are fun to look at and fun to trade off of, but really you haven't gotten the greatest you know, push through on those names. And I mean, another example would be Meta. If you're going to go, you know, this way, you basically get the quarter right now for free again. I keep talking about that, but it's true. We were at 670 before. Monster number comes out. This thing goes up $80, and then since then, it's just gone down every single day, pretty much since that report. So yeah, it hasn't been a good little run here for Meta and their shareholders either. So, you know, it's just a lot of tech problems, and we got a nice number from Deere. That's continuing. It was continually higher today. I don't know if
I didn't look again.
If it has continued today. They held their bid yesterday, yeah. So there it goes, also holding today. So you know things are getting a little bit better out here in some of the spaces. But a lot of the names that have come out with good reports. I mean, look at Palo Alto now again. You know, we talked about what's been happening today. Why CrowdStrike is down so much and Palo Alto's only down 1.6%. I don't know, but
it's because Palo Alto was down so much more on their earnings, so it had
maybe But CrowdStrike is down 9% today. It was.
Remember on Palo Alto's down day, CrowdStrike was down like 1 or 2% when Palo Alto was down 10. So I think they've just maybe equalized now.
Okay, that could make sense.
Oh, by the way, they you were just mentioning Deere.
Down 8.
Yeah. XLI did make.
Yes, love it.
Oh, it didn't hold it, but it did make a fresh high today. So fresh tops, but we're going to close not making a fresh high on the industrials index. Oh, that sucks. Well, you know what? You can't be at the top every single day. It might seem like that for the industrials, but they're not always breaking highs. They just seem like they're the best. And they've been doing fantastically. And that's to the point about having diversification. Like John Deere, like I remember, I don't know, like it was 6 months ago on this desk, it was always, whether it was Caterpillar or John Deere, it didn't matter. It's just, you have to understand when things, well, I'm gonna speak Caterpillar for a quick little second. If we're gonna be building 1 billion data centers, and if we need power, and you need power generation, well, who builds them? Who makes the generators? Caterpillar. At the end of the day, if we're worried about all of the spending that is gonna get done by the hyperscalers, well, if you're worried about them making money, but right now they've got money to spend, worry about who that money is trickling to. Because that ends up being a bit of a safer way to play it sometimes in those secondary moves. Well, but it's not risk-free because I've been at least a little bit, I've wondered what's going on with Vistra and and
they had a great quarter, didn't they?
Oh no, okay. Look, the bounce has been great for the stock, but I look at Vistra, which was part of this nice run. I look at Constellation as well, which had been part of this nice run, and you're going to see, come on, Friday chart. You know my charts do this on Fridays. It's not bouncing now, but even worse on terms of a pullback. Then I look at a GE Vernova, which has been bucking that pullback. Like it's holding up right into trend, right on the highs. And I don't wonder if there's there should be this catch-up trade coming in the other two. Is what it is. Like I own this one, so I don't know that I'd want to buy it, but it's not always risk-free to sort of look at it because not all of these power names have been doing as well as the rest. But to the point, diversification does matter. And sort of trying to find ways inside of this AI craze to make some money. If you were doing that and not just looking at Nvidia while Nvidia was going sideways, there were plenty of other places that you could have been looking for sure. And Pops Mafia, I'm with you on GE Vernova. It's turning into a hold it, don't trade it kind of deal. Because I was trying to get cute with 20% of it, and well, I haven't bought that 20% back because I was trying to get cute with it. And that's what happens when you figure, I got the top here, I'm gonna sell 20%, and I'm gonna catch the dip, and I can put it back in, and it's like, yeah, that looks all well and good. And if you pull it off with like a SoFi, you look like a genius because that's actually coming back down. But you don't pull it off, and all of a sudden you've got a great long-term hold that you just trimmed 20% of, and you got to ask yourself, did I really, really want to have less shares of this?
Well, you can't take I mean, you got to register at some point, like we said. I took some out on Palantir at 50, at 90, at 130, at 175. As they continue to blow up, you can't ever, not take a little bit of profit. But look what silver's doing, man. I mean, this name is just okay. This is now in the last 5 minutes. 1, 2, these are 5-minute bars. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Basically, I know that there's a bad print at 4 o'clock. I don't know what's going on. But there goes silver upside and continuously going, man. So yeah, wow. SLV today up 7%. So shout out to all the silver buffs out there as that just keeps on going upside right there, silver. And a big shout out to anybody that's going here right now. Print that money on Intel. And there it is, nice downside play there for me on INTC. So we'll just see where that's going. Hopefully lower. But we just got a bid there. I think it was 12s. What were we waiting for? Yeah, 12. So we're waiting for that same price we got there. So, or maybe it was 13s. But we get that move down in. Now let's wait to see if Intel finally wants to crack a little bit lower. Futures now underneath the 50-period moving average. Look, man, today Trump canceled all of the the Supreme Court stepped in and said, you know what, these tariffs are not going to be legal. So President Trump found other loopholes to get involved with and start taxing virtually some of these other nations. And that was, I guess, pretty well received by the market. I mean, the market's up and doing fine with it.
We have to interpret it. It's just this whole, the 10% that he's like, we're going to immediately put 10% on across the board, but that's still going to be better off than everything that is now going to come off. So the market's essentially liking that,
right?
Because it's slapping the 10% and then now having to figure out what other ways. Which I don't know. If I was a betting man, I would say he will figure out another law. Or I'm not an American legal expert, but I think this isn't the end. It's just maybe a temporary reprieve. And then, as he also mentioned, there'll be lots of litigation in terms of whether there is paybacks or not, whether they have to pay back some, which is incredibly complex when you think about it, because that just shits on the consumer. Because to the extent that the consumer had it passed on, you can't refund the consumer in that legal way. Like the government could say they're going to, but ultimately you would be paying back the companies that paid the tariffs, and they have zero obligation to put that back to the consumer. Why would they? They never would. They're about their shareholders if they're public, but. Yes, that's actually pretty complex there.
You're welcome, Silverado Blue. I can't show this on our chart because it won't show all of it, but this. Thank you, Silverado Blue. Thanks, Sean, for all your help today. About a bunch of smileys and a bunch of thumbs up. Hey, you're welcome, man. I mean, thanks for watching. That's at the end of the day, all that we care about. And we just sitting here pushing buttons, right? And hoping that you guys enjoy this show. And hopefully we'll be able to put on some good trades for you, make sense, have some good talk. as well as we get ready for what should be an exciting weekend, that is for sure. All right, let's have a quick look at the broader markets just real quickly. Tech services, right? We do get Oracle. We talked about that one, down 5.5%. Right now, Oracle down to 147, the lowest it's been in a very, very long time. We'll take a look at the monthly chart of that. Its actual low back in February was lower than this, actually. Man, my mouse is just so bad. 134, the low, so you're at 147. So lower to go, if you ask me, on Oracle. ServiceNow, PanW, we talked about that. There's CrowdStrike down to 390. Right now, Datadog getting hit there as well, Fortinet. So a lot of those sort of SaaS names getting hit today on, you guys are talking about Blue Owl and all that kind of stuff. So, as far as the technology names though are concerned, the pure plays, Nvidia and Apple right there, Micron still up, so that's really nice for Micron. AMD down. I was looking at Intel, that's what I'm short right now. Wow, Intel's really cranking lower now, so we'll go, yeehaw! Right there for that trade, as that's starting to really bag out right now for us. Corning up 6%. That was kind of interesting there. GE also upside, and AMD down, Intel down, Nvidia and Broadcom down as well. Actually, I thought Broadcom was up. Yeah. All right, guys. We can talk more about the financials as well in a minute, but look what's happening to your boy right now. This is exactly the kind of trading that I'm trying to do. Find a spot, hit it, nail it to the wall, and that's that. So there it goes, man. Nice downside play here. My bids are at 05s. We'll put an 07 here just in case it does fly down and we'll be able to get that one. But there goes Intel. Hopefully went to 08. So that's okay. We got some more out anyways. Again, let's see how low it can fly or how low it can go right now. Futures finally giving it up. We did talk about that Tesla trade as well. That 411. It looks like I was going to take 411 as a breakout, and we sort of decided to cancel that. So whenever I'm thinking no more breakout, oh, there it goes. Yes, Intel making that move right now. And that is your chicken dinner winner right there for me on the afternoon, as there goes Intel. We just got 06s and 05s, whatever I put there, 07s and 06s. Nice move to the downside there for Intel, cracking lower. Good trade there. INTC. We'll get it all figured out, but it's a nice downside play there. So another one. We're traded a couple names today. Silver, Google, Intel, and the futures. Palantir is going to be the missed. Well, okay, so first of all, Open Door is the missed trade, but this name came right back up to 136, right where we were yesterday, and this was a short that we missed. So Palantir, we'll look to see that 136 on Monday, although I get a feeling Monday is going to be an up day. So I don't know, we'll see. Maybe it's just me being always, forever pretty much trying to be an optimist, but not optometrist. Optimist. I wish I was an optometrist, man. It makes a lot of money over there. Optometrist. They make a lot of money. But anyways, they don't have fun like we do. Palantir, 136. Definitely a decent level there. We'll have to check that for you on optometrists.
It depends.
Dude, they make probably 3 times what we make. That's easy.
I know a couple.
Easy day, man. Easy day. But anyways, that's the thing. So Palantir right here. I really like that trade 136, man. For that one. So watch out for
Head and Shoulders on the 15 on Palantir. That's now 2 days in a row. So
Silver.
I see Silver is still squeezing to the upside there. I'm going to give it one more chance. We've gotten almost to the volume weighted average price. Did reload IBIT, but we're now past 330. The only thing it traded this afternoon when it broke trend. But at this point, there won't be a third reload. Not at this time. It'll be too close to the volume weighted average price there. Oh, we got another super chat.
Yeah.
So look, a lot of people. I'm just going to quickly show. I mean, Silver. Can't really say enough about how strong it's gone. It's actually accelerating. Almost 8% now is SLV.
Jeez.
And I know some people have said, hey, you should be looking at, use physical silver is better. For the purposes of trading, if you're just day trading, they're just moving exactly the same. Now I understand why you might care, like holding physical silver, versus something like SLV. That's one thing. But as far as an actual trade, they're gonna be the same thing. What is this name? KY is out of the off. Oh boy. Great job as always. My lifetime hours watching TTV is approaching my lifetime hours watching Gilligan's Island as a kid. And that's something. You've been around a little bit. Gilligan's Island as a kid, shout out to you. Even I didn't watch Gilligan's Island. I'm pretty old, but I've seen Gilligan's Island. I know what you're talking about. But I cannot say that that's something that I grew up watching. But appreciate you and thank you so much. if you're out of the office. Hopefully you have a fantastic weekend. The Skipper, yes, and Marianne. I'm surprised there's that many people that actually know that show. Like if I said that, I would have expected you'd get like, what the heck is Gilligan's Island and why does anybody even know? No, and by the way, I didn't watch it as a kid. I have seen the show, but I can't say I grew up on it. Like it's not like the thing was on. That was off the air. I'm not that old, man. Like that was off the air when I would have been watching stuff. Come on, just give us one extra push down. I am gonna want to check out because it is past 3:30. The early look on the imbalances. Okay, so we have these are some numbers. It should be, yeah, it's the third Friday. So on the third Friday of every single month, you're gonna usually have a bit bigger imbalances. Double check, it is the third Friday. Yeah, so Doc, 4.6 million to buy. Ford is 3.6. See anything, BAC, 3.3 million to the buy side. KMI, 2 million buy. AG is a 1.9 million sell. You're getting some decent sized numbers. XOM, 1.5 million to the sell side. And these are all early looks. Like this is with 15 minutes until the imbalances come out. Fubo, 1.2 million to the sell side. And the only reason you're gonna actually see significant numbers is because it is the third Friday. And there's not even any big index actions that I checked. I couldn't see a thing. What is this stock? I'm not really, I'm gonna look up this stock because I have no idea what this symbol is.
Big scalp.
And it's got 4.7 million to buy into 5 million shares, and it's some kind of I think it's like a REIT or something. Maybe. HealthSpeak Properties, Inc., New York. But the entire day volume into this imbalance.
All right, and Sia's got some sort of news over there.
Yeah, right here I am seeing a quick update from Microsoft. Microsoft has said that Asha Sharma is succeeding Phil Spencer as gaming CEO and says it is recommitting to focus on consoles. You can see on my screen here, stocks unaffected, just trading negative 0.45%.
Much there for that comment there from Big Scalp. Good job on Intel. Yeah, I mean, look, we found a stock. We liked it there. Nice move to the downside. Thank you, easy peasy as well. Tried to watch CNBC and TTV pulled you back in. So we're really glad for that one. We'll hit the sirens. Thank you, easy peasy for that one. You've already found this, the best station, so stay here with us. I've never even heard of CNBC, so we'll just not worry about that. But actually, I used to always watch Mad Money with my dad, so and that's what started me.
I was a Kudlow and Kramer guy.
Yeah, I was not. I was just a Kramer guy, but yeah.
Well, that's way before Mad Money.
Yeah, way before Mad Money. I started. I wasn't watching it that young, but for me, yeah, just started investing myself at a very, very young age, and that got me really excited about it. And then straight out of school, just became basically a trader right out of university, and was one of 2 people out of 22 that graduated. And that's exactly what we're going to be talking about at the Trader TV Live Academy that drops on Tuesday. So get ready for the Trader TV Live Academy. We'll be talking all about journeys, what we've studied to get here, different techniques that we use every single day as far as finding the trades, what to look for, just the work that's required to become a successful trader, right? And there's so many traders that we've seen come through these doors that fail, like a way bigger percentage fail than succeed. So we just talked about, going to become a doctor and how many years it takes to do that, how many years it takes to become a lawyer, an optometrist, a dentist, anything professional. You can't just say, okay, I'm going to start trading, and then all of a sudden, that's my profession. You got to put in the time, the effort, the work, and if you can do that, then this can be a success story for you, although very tough road to hoe, which is why we're putting out this academy to try to give you guys as much opportunities to be a successful trader as possible.
If you're gonna try it, you might as well try it right. That's the thing. It's hard enough if you don't do it the right way. At least give yourself the best shot at success. But I want to give a big shout out to it's Wes y'all in the chat. Just said it's his son's birthday.
Yes.
So happy birthday to your son.
How old? How old?
Oh, he didn't say. You didn't say the name or how old, but happy birthday, Wes y'all, to your son, and I hope you have a fantastic weekend and enjoy it. They grow up way too fast, I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, at least someone appreciates the speeches over there. What's up, guys? Always be thankful. We need more of those. No, you need less of them, trust me, on that. But yeah, the passion is what drives me, and then the love of this job and being able to be here. And, you know, that's why I was talking about training and all that kind of stuff. So you'll hear all about that on the Academy, and we're really excited for that. On Tuesday, it drops. So make sure you guys check it out, and we'll just go from there. And there it is again. Yeah, Defnesh there. You guys just mentioned it. Where is it right there? Yeah, a lot of traders just sit in there and try to wing it. We've seen so many traders do that around here, and it's crazy, right? And you know, we don't go over everything. And if we told you the real numbers, you guys would be, you know, it's shocking sometimes about the people that just throw money into accounts and then don't bother to learn anything about it. That's where and why the Trader TV Live Academy came to be, right? So, all right, Intel downside there, take your profits. That's part of what we'll talk about, you know, taking profits. And there it is right there. Do not be greedy, right? Have a plan, do it, and go from there. So, yeah, all right, so that's the Intel trade. Let's just see silver. Like, you want to talk about, you know, taking a trade on trend, and I apologize, there is some sort of a bad print that's happening on our system here after hours for everything in the Amex there today. But look at silver, just climbing up, man, the rest of the day. Like, this short is gonna look like crazy times, but you guys know we didn't wind up losing that much on this short. At the end of the day, we got out, we should have gone long. So there goes silver all the way to the upside, up 8% today, silver. The ones that are surprising me today, and we already talked about this story with Blue Owl, it's IREN down 8%, or it was down 8%, now it's 7%. CrowdStrike, same type of thing, that was down 7 or 8%. That's still down 8% there. So, you know, just be careful with whatever plan of action you guys have, because right now, man, a lot of these names are pushing lower. So you got to be very, very weary of, you know, stepping into some of this. But like I know you stepped in today, and I think there are key levels that are going to come into play.
I'll be real. I would have, if I had seen that headline before look, I found out about that headline when I got the notification that I got filled. But if I had seen that headline, I probably would have canceled and put my bid back to where it was 2 days ago. Certainly on crowd. Like, why not? If I wanted it in the high 300s before, and then there's a negative headline, I had just moved it to $400 on my bid, I would have pulled it for sure. I have one note on, just to quickly go back to silver, it's worth noting, oh, okay, gold chart. Well, I guess our Amex charts are having some issues, but only up 2% is what I was trying to get at. So gold is only up 2 points, silver is moving more. But if you look at this, looky, this lower high, so you have higher lows all the way through. And one thing to keep in mind for gold, unlike silver, in this pullback, we actually held on to trend in this pullback. Silver didn't, because silver was so parabolic. But gold held on to the trend on the dip and is now trying to break out, again, this lower high. So this looks like a breakout next week over $470. And obviously, silver is giving you more bang for your buck to the upside now, because it fell a heck of a lot more and was a lot more frothy. So I think that does play as part of it. Only 10 minutes to go until we have the imbalances. And like I personally, someone just said gold will be 6K end of year. I wouldn't necessarily disagree with you. I just saw when I pulled up GLD there that there was some people hitting the tape to the downside in GLD, so I pulled up silver, and they're hitting the tape to the downside there as well. No. Like you could just sort of see it for a split second. Let's go to GIA, and we'll come back 8 minutes till imbalances.
GIA or CIA, yeah.
Sorry,
either way.
That's my bad.
Oh. That's okay, Neil. Don't worry about it. Just quickly, guys, keep an eye out on palladium, rising over 4% to 1,760.35 per ounce.
That's my
CNG. I like both names. Right there. Yeah, here's palladium right here. This is CFD. I have to find the right one, but yeah, nice move there. Upside, you can see, you know, the whole metal space continues to make moves. I mean, palladium, just another one of those. I mean, PALLA, physical palladium shares, XPD to USD. So yeah, so it's the same look. So there it is right there. Palladium, nice move there, as you know, all these metals, and I don't know exactly the use case for a lot of these. I know that my ring is platinum right here. Let me see what's going on with this one. As yeah, obviously platinum's been absolutely skyrocketing. The problem is that, you know, I bought this thing. Let's go over to a 1 month chart for palladium. When did I get married, or for platinum? When did I get married again? Who knows? Don't tell my wife, I'm not sure. 2011, I think? Yeah, 2011. So, all right, so it's a little up since when I bought this. But of course, when you buy retail, you're paying like, 100% premium on that. So platinum, you got to get going on that one there, platinum. But yeah, thanks, Sia, for that. And it's been a big run, man. Copper as well. I mean, copper makes a lot of sense. Copper's in buildings.
You know what bugs me this morning? We're looking for that bull flag consolidation thing.
Yeah.
And my head was in a certain place. And I know you mentioned Eli Lilly. I don't know why it didn't occur to me, but Freeport.
Okay.
Freeport-McMoRan is doing that bull flag after an upward run. So if you're looking for, and again, this only came to my mind because you were just talking about the metals, right? So copper going to be a big deal. But this is a nice bull flag you see on FCX. Here, I want to show you one. I like, when you're looking at things in the long term, I like looking at them on a weekly as well. On a weekly, it doesn't look quite as good, but again, you have a pretty good consolidation that once you close a week over 65, hello. Continuation trade, yes.
Hello.
Yes, please. It's the only thing in my 3 picks. I don't know, I went way riskier this year than last year. That was just I guess it was like a reading the room kind of thing. I was only thinking of taking one risk name. But Freeport was the one that was like, yeah, that's my safer pick because it was in an upward trend. But still has to break out. That's the thing about a bull flag. And we said this morning when Michael was on and you look at Eli Lilly. You can sit there in that kind of a pattern for a long time. It can be worth it. It absolutely can be worth it, when you finally get that breakout. But just because it's in a bull flag doesn't mean this is breaking out next week. It could sit here and go sideways, holding higher lows for weeks at a time, months. I've seen stocks do that for 3 or 4 months, and you're like, oh, it's dead. It's dead money. Yeah, but it's in an uptrend, so it's fine. It's done it before. When you consolidate in an uptrend, it's usually not that bad of a thing. So the imbalances are coming.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think we have 5 minutes to go, so there will, like I said, they're not going to reload this. I will move the stop down to break even because that makes some sense. At this point, it's either break even out or the volume weighted average price. And oh, Mercus. Yeah, that rhyme was a miss.
America.
Look at me, America.
What do I think of the Google?
Look how Tron is living. Rhyme had that big headline, they're disrupting logistics, and at the end of the day, it's still up from that dollar breakout, but it lost that 250 bid today. So if you're like, what shoe's gonna drop next? It sat 3 days consolidating, finally lost to 250. It's holding $2. If it drops again, you might get a dollar bounce here. So try to remember that next week after everyone writes this off if it gets underneath $2. It broke out clean from effectively, like down here, like here's the dollar, a little bit of dancing, and then the following day, bounced off of 110 and broke out. So I think the dollar retrace could be good on this Rhyme stock. That's provided it actually breaks down. But any stocks, when they get down there, it's a good psychological level. When you're long in the 40s and 50s, usually you're taking stuff off. And when they fall back down, there's usually a defense of the $1 level. You could see that on Rhyme next week. Oh, there's the trail out, so we must have got that trail break even.
Nice.
On IBIT. It couldn't get to the volume weighted average price. Maybe Bitcoin's just strong again.
It is, 68,000.
Is it though?
Yeah.
I'll feel better about Bitcoin when we start closing above 70K.
Yeah, me too.
That's where my head's at for Bitcoin. Like if it doesn't do that, then I'm still a wait and see at 50 kind of deal. I'd rather buy at 72, 73 than in the high 60s. That's just because of that daily chart.
Yeah, I bought some 66s. Let's see if it can hold. Whatever, man. I'm just using play money now. I'm fully invested. So anything I'm buying these days when I'm talking about it, please do not think that it's large sums of money. Like it's just trying to top out some of what I have there in the RRSP for longer term stuff. And I still do there's some talk about Big Bear AI. We talked about sleeping giants in this space. I really like Big Bear AI. I like what they're doing, the government contracts. But again, like when you're talking about software, when you see names like CrowdStrike and other names that are down 6-7%, like big time profitable names that are getting hit right now, it's not the right space. We talked about it. You have AI in your name, or you have cloud or anything right now. It's going to be bad. I mean, Palantir is a huge name, and they're basically very, very similar. If you overlay Palantir and Big Bear AI, it's going to be very, very similar, where you made that top there on Palantir earnings. I mean, they're their top is similar, and then just whoosh to the downside. And it's just basically been following PLTR down. So I'm not averaging in. Like, I'm still stuck at 420. We were able to get out on the way back up. And then I'm just thinking, like, we just either got to wait to put some more money into it or just keep what we have. And then hopefully we get a nice little bounce on Big Bear AI. And their earnings report is next week. So they could turn, if they can turn positive, then I say look out for Big Bear AI. And we'll see where they go. Yeah, it's Monday. Monday, March 2nd, sorry. So they still have 2 more weeks.
It's SMR.
Yeah, to go. SMR is the one. What's this doing here? Spiders? Yeah, but there it is right here. So Big Bear AI, their market cap is under $2 billion. So you guys tell me where you think this stock could go if they put out a good report. Where's the short float on this thing? There it is right there. How about 26% short float on Big Bear AI? You know, so let's just get going on this. Obviously, it has no earnings or anything like that, and yeah, burning through cash. But at the end of the day, let's see what they can wind up doing, man. EBITDA margin 34%. They just got to put a green number up, and then we say when moon. But
I always feel like with those stocks, by the time they do that. Like the example I'm using, like by the time Rivian gets to the point where they're not losing per vehicle, it'll be too late to have caught them. If you're trying to get the bottom,
that will never happen, probably.
What's I'm saying, like, but if it does happen, you know, it'll already be like 3-4x by the time that happens. You have to like something when it's immature sometimes to get the absolute bottoms. That was kind of cool. You had like the level 2, or not the level 2, on that. If you go back, I didn't know you could do that.
What, Benzinga?
Benzinga. It was rotating through the symbols.
What the? No, I can't even get it back over here. Here it is.
How do you do that? Because you see, it's rotating through the symbol. State Street, the SPY, and then
no, it's not. This is just stuck here. It's not doing anything.
No, but it's going through its different symbols.
Where?
Is that a list or something? It was changing. I was watching it change.
Were you?
I was watching it change.
No,
I'm not crazy. That was changing. Rewind, it was changing before.
Okay.
That.
I mean, I just keep it on here for the rest of the time if you want.
No, by the way, it bounces in 20 seconds.
Anyways.
But it was.
Yeah, it bounces in just a couple of seconds. Anyways, yeah, Benzinga platform. You guys go check it out. We like it. We don't, we're not affiliated with them or anything like that. Just to get the news. Okay, here we go, man. Then the imbalances are out, right? So let's get,
10 seconds to go.
Let's get ready.
There's a new early look on USAS. That's half the day's volume on this
stock. We'll take another bid on Intel.
Let's see if it actually comes out that big. ENB's an early look. DOC is cut in half.
Yes,
that's
Intel.
probably going to be nothing. That was the second. AGNC, whatever that is 5 million to the buy side. I don't see any big cap tech names on here over the million. Fubo is 1 million shares. Uber is 1.2 million shares to the sell side. ONDS is 1 million sell. Yuck. Owl is actually a buy of 1 million, so good for them. Alphabet, Owl. 1 million to the sell side. I guess that's the biggest big cap name that I've seen. Nvidia, 800,000 to buy. That's a nothing burger. Walmart, 700,000 to the buy side. Amazon, 700,000 to the buy side. So I'd say relatively small, except for whatever AGNC is.
Yeah, so this is one of my favorite graphics. It's your money storm, baby. It's raining down on Intel right now. So, you know, we're getting the 200 period moving average. Look, we had a lot of good talk here this afternoon. We talked about the Trader TV Academy, which we are very excited for next week. The biggest week in Trader TV Live history is next week. So get ready for that one. Your opportunity to become part of something special with the Academy. So we're really excited. We're like, honestly, this is something that we put a lot of time and effort into. You might have seen us in the last couple months filming things, running around, all this kind of stuff. So it's to build you guys that academy. So, you know, we're waiting for the feedback. We're excited to drop that for you on Tuesday. And we'll be talking about it more as the day goes on. But we're just, have a great weekend. We watched that Olympics, man. We're getting close to wrapping that up very, very shortly. And it's been, I always love watching the Olympics. I feel like
I love it. It's
like we have a lot of kind of like shit happening in the world, you know, and it's obviously when Canada plays US in hockey, you know, everyone gets, you know, excited. But like I saw this figure skater. She was from Estonia. And it's like, how many major events and all this kind of stuff, you know, are they able to participate in? And then it's like, that's great to see that kind of stuff.
Who can't enjoy those moments?
Yeah, so anyways, I don't know, it's great, especially when you have kids. It's great to watch the Olympics and see all that. It's very high-spirited games. So it's been really fun doing that. And I haven't even been paying attention to
high-level athletes.
I don't think the medal counts, I haven't even been paying attention. So I don't know.
I know the Nordic countries do well. You know, Italy, the host country, is doing well.
Yeah.
The USA is doing well.
I think Norway.
I think we're underperforming,
Probably,
considering it's the Winter Olympics. But then, if you're in Canada, it doesn't matter if we're underperforming if we win gold in hockey, right? Like everything is forgotten if we don't win the gold.
Hockey, never heard of it.
If we don't win the gold,
yeah,
I believe we're going to.
We won 4 nations, you know.
Well, that's true. That was sick.
Yeah.
I was in Montreal when it happened.
Sunday morning is going to be crazy.
Yeah.
Just a really quick update here. Feds Musallem is talking right now, and here are a couple quotes. The Supreme Court ruling could introduce a period of uncertainty. For me, policy is well positioned. The real Fed funds rate is at or below the neutral rate. And he said that a neutral real rate is appropriate. Also, companies are feeling cost pressures and people are challenged by inflation. And he is wrapping it up, I believe, by saying, I am focused on PCE inflation rather than CPI, and I don't see productivity growth in the macro data yet.
All right.
There's Sia?
Yeah, Canada versus Finland. Yeah, we should have lost that game, but we did not. All right, so silver right there. Finally pulling back a little bit. Do not think that this is a tank. That is not what just happened. It's just pulling back a little bit to 76.30 right there. So we'll have to wait to see. Big time talk with Donald Trump today, man. I mean, but I really still think the story, this Blue Owl thing is really interesting to me. I'm going to do some more work over this weekend because, you know, names that are getting hit today, I don't really...
we have a partnership with SoFi.
And that's what I was going to say, like, what's going on with SoFi, too? Because, like...
Well, SoFi's at the high. Okay, good.
Yeah, SoFi battled back a little bit, so that's nice to see, thankfully. But, yeah, still in a little bit of trouble here is SoFi, so... not SoFi so good on that one. And then Tesla, one of my favorite stocks. We need to get something like, this is a Lambo. We need to get, like... Well, they don't make the Model S's anymore anyways, but... or maybe a Cybertruck.
It should be a relevant vehicle. That's
it should be a Cybertruck. We should get into a Cybertruck.
And by the way,
See, you like the Cybertrucks? Not okay. I wasn't sure. You may see your guy Sharif rolling around in one of those soon.
He's been saying that for a very long time.
He was loving. Yes.
David.
Oh, I thought we heard some dings in there.
Thank you, David. Have a good weekend, chat and Trade TV Live. See you in the men's final, Canada. Yes, we will.
Yes, we will.
8 a.m. Eastern.
I assume the United States, they're playing Slovakia, not Souvlaki. Souvlaki. Love Souvlaki.
How come they've never, they should do that for the lunch.
I think they have done Souvlaki before.
I might have missed it. This caterer or the old caterer has?
Dude, she's only been here.
I feel like the old caterer.
No, she has only been here for new caterer. Yeah. So anyway, Souvlaki time. But Slovakia is who the United States are playing right now. They were more than double the favorite that Canada was against Finland. Finland's a world-class team. So is
anything
so
can happen.
Slovakia.
Let's be real. You just
Souvlakia.
Now we all want
that's a new nation that I'm creating, Souvlakia. And that way, then Trump would not have to tariff them at all. You know, it'd just be like, I love souvlaki. So now I can't even say anything properly. Shout out to everybody that's Greek. I apologize for that. But Taste of the Danforth is back this year. So Taste of the Danforth, one of the best things in Toronto.
One of the best things that happens in the city.
Yes, right now. So, all right, man, we're getting ready to rock and roll here into the close. There were 4 minutes left.
Yeah, there were no big imbalances to pair off. But for what it's worth, Uber did not. Uber was a 1.2 million sell. It is still a 1.2 million sell on Uber. CrowdStrike is back at the low of the day. Actually, no, CrowdStrike just broke and made a new low of the day, down 8%. So the cybersecurity names have gotten hit. The only thing worse than CrowdStrike, and there's Uber, it's not really moving on that 1.2 million sell amount, but it is coming down. The only thing worse this afternoon was actually, it was JFrog. Like if you're, the market was trending
JFrog
higher.
had that some sort of a story.
Yeah, JFrog, it was about 1 o'clock or so. Smoked, 25% down. So this will be heavy SSR. Yikes. All the way back to May of last year-ish.
Gulp.
Yeah, they're not looking good at all. Man, these software names.
I want to say
they don't fall a little. When they lose the bid, they lose the bid a lot.
Yeah, like what is IGV even doing? Shout out to you, Thanos. One ring to rule them all. He says, thank you for the lovely trades. Have a great weekend. So same thing to you today as well. Thank you for, I guess if you followed them, thank you for doing that. But yeah, man, to each their own. And we just want to say thank you to everybody for watching. And hopefully the trades that you put in your account were just as good and, to your satisfaction. All right, here's Intel. I'm just going to get out with only a couple minutes left, man. There's really no point in sitting around and doing too much there. We continue 04. I'm still bidding 01s just for one last little piece here on the space. So yeah, man, hopefully that will come through and we'll be able to deal with Intel at that low, which it is right now. I was actually waiting for 97s as well. That did not come out yet. But yeah, great day today. And you're welcome, everybody, for the show. Just thank you for coming back. And remember, next week's a big week. So we're going to be talking about that over and over again. Adara's back on Monday, so that should be good as well. We're excited to have her back. And yeah, thanks to Sia, man. Great job today. I think we've all sort of told her that. And I know it's been a long day for her. So we want to say thank you for that. I went to her, I said, are you working tonight too? Because hopefully not. Deserves a rest.
Friday.
For sure. So
I'm so tired.
Okay, so she's so tired there. But yeah, good job. Thanks, Sia. What are your plans this weekend, Miss SIA?
Oh, my plans? Assignments, sleep.
What class?
That works.
One of the classes is a newsroom journalism class.
Ooh.
I need to produce stories.
Yes.
And one of them is a philosophy minor I'm taking, so.
Okay.
Okay,
Awesome.
good. That sounds like a lot of fun, yeah.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah, no, it
Why
doesn't,
not?
yeah.
Sure it does.
I threw the nod in there at the end, but okay, well, just let Neil do the project for you. It seems like he.
Whoa.
It sounds like fun. I'm trying to give you fun stuff, Neil.
Neil, yeah, I need to write like a 1,000-word essay on Sartre.
There we go.
Okay,
well, Neil will just use Gemini.
Yeah, but there's one thing, like I enjoy reading stuff. It's when you actually have to do an assignment on it, that's the problem. That's the part of school that I wasn't a fan of. I loved reading things and learning stuff. It's just why do I have to write a report about it? Why do I have to do an assignment on it? That's the part of school that's like, can't I just sit there and learn for myself?
Yeah, so I guess that's a no, Sia. Sorry, you gotta do it by yourself. I tried.
But there's always Gemini.
I have ChatGPT. No,
Yeah,
I'm
exactly.
kidding.
Gemini's better.
Are you?
I don't cheat.
Gemini's better.
Don't you? Okay, thank you so much, Tony. Much love to Neil, Sean, and Sia. So thank you so much for all of that. Yeah, Sia's not going anywhere. She'll be back.
Ram just said, I wish I had Gemini when I was in uni.
Yep, exactly.
Doesn't everybody? I mean, who doesn't feel that way?
Isn't Ramin still in university? Or was it looking?
I assumed it was Ramin because she put it. I don't know if it was Fabian. It could have been either one of them. Only 15 seconds to go, everybody. So buckle up. Ooh, ZSL kind of popped in there at the end of the day and now gone. But the closing bell, brought to you by Beta Pro by Globex, it looks like. Ring it in 2 and 1, and we will pretend to ring the bell that we still can't work the lowering of it, unfortunately. We'll get there. The log man, appreciate you. Thanks for the great content all week long. Hope you have a great weekend. We hope you have a great weekend too. I don't care who you're cheering for in the game on Sunday. I promise you, it's going to be a crazy competitive match. So like obviously I want Canada to win, but
it'll be overtime. I'm going to bet Canada right now.
And of course, we're already assuming that the U.S. is going to win.
Yes.
They should be like a period or so in because they would have started like 50 minutes ago.
They started at 3 p.m. You guys can go find it. Here, USA, Slovakia. Let me see. 2-0 United States.
Yeah, so it's basically over.
Yeah, they'll be able to beat them, no problem.
Another one.
All right, 4 o'clock. What, another? Okay.
Oh no, that's not the wrong one.
Yeah, there it is. Okay. Well, thank you, Easy Peasy, for that.
Oh, thank you, Easy Peasy. I saw a different one. There it is. Danny Boy regular pants. That's the one I saw.
Oh, Grail.
As a shareholder, this was on the watch list for the wrong reasons this morning.
Yeah.
I take offense to you guys suggesting that my stock was not the loser of the day.
It is. But
okay, yeah, it's down 50%. That's, yeah, obviously.
I mean, I don't know the story, but...
obviously, it was, I mean... I said J Frog and the CrowdStrike because that happened in the middle of the day. Like they were doing nothing and then they absolutely cratered. But remember, a couple of things. A, enjoy your weekend. B, don't forget on Tuesday of next week, that's the Trader TV Academy is coming into full effect, everybody. Thank everyone who worked on it. It was a lot of hours putting it together. And thank Joe in the Midday. Thank Sharif. They're both going to be in the Bad Boy. And thank you to Sia doing a fantastic job. Filling in for Adara, who is back on Monday morning. Shout out to Brendo. Shout out to Michael Noss this morning, our guest. Shout out to Fabian, Ramin, and Andre. Shout out to my man Sean. To the entire crew in the chat. This has been so fantastic. Enjoy your weekend. Go Canada. I have to do it.
Yep. Be a good one.
Got to bring home that gold. See you, everybody.
Talk about gold on Monday.